Cory, what is up?
Dude, I'm trying to wake up.
Yeah, right. I think this may be the earliest show that we've ever done.
Yeah.
Leave it to me to make it complicated, man.
That's okay.
You're listening to the...
It's not complicated. It's a good change. You got to change that shit up every now and then.
Got to pump beer in my face at 10.
Yeah, that's a good wake up.
You're listening to the Same Old Devil's Early Bird podcast.
The early bird. Actually, we release at 10 normally, so it's like people can hear it fresh.
Oh, like 10 o'clock in the morning on your release day?
Yeah,
Nice.
Because I can't wake up earlier than that.
So, well, I did all mine. I was doing mine like that, and then all my friends were like, a lot of my friends, they are at work at like 4 in the morning.
Oh, shit.
So it's like, fuck, all right, well, okay, so I started doing them the day before and putting a published time on there, so now they come out at 4 a.m. on Tuesdays.
That's probably better. That's probably a smarter way to do it. That way they got the whole day. Yeah.
The commute, plus, like, a lot of my friends work at, like, grocery stores and that kind of shit, so they're just like, I'm in the freezer, I need something to listen to. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Cory, go ahead and tell us what you're all about. Like, what's your deal, man?
My deal?
Your deal.
Everything, bro.
Yes.
I do everything.
Yes.
That's the jam.
Love that.
That's what it's
Love
about.
that.
There's nothing I don't try to tackle. Community-driven fella. Myself, I like to help as much as I can, but sometimes, like these last few weeks have been a bit taxing. I'm pretty sure I'm losing hair from it.
Yeah. I know that feeling. Way too well. It's way easy to stretch yourself thin, and then your hair will fall out.
Yeah, but you got to keep this kick-ass mullet.
Oh,
You
yeah.
do have that going on. That's a
I'm
good
like,
low.
Usually I'm not a huge fan of the mullet, but like that shit kicks. Like honestly,
I actually, for the first time ever, give a shit about the way my hair looks, and it's like the trashiest shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I'll sit there and I'll flip it so it kind of kicks out, and it's
that's the move.
that's
probably the
swaggiest mullet I've ever seen.
It's probably the lamest thing I do. Man, I'm in 4 bands. I have a 50-hour work week job. I have a wife. No kids. Don't need them. Don't want them. Yeah.
Whew.
Thank God.
I hear they take a lot of time.
Yeah.
All my friends that have kids, shout out. Like, I love those little bastards, but no. I go over there for like 3 hours, and I'm like, I need a nap.
Yeah.
I can't handle this.
I'm with you on that. I got a couple nieces and nephews. Same jam, man. They're great, but leave them there.
Yeah.
That's why when my friends make excuses and they have children, I'm like, yeah, cool. It's cool. That's fine. We don't have to hang out. I get it. Sleep.
Yeah, we'll figure it out another time.
When they're teenagers, like 18 years, 12 years from now, I have one friend who has a 13-year-old, because that's how old I am, and it's kind of cool when they get old enough to actually talk to an adult, instead of just being like, oh, hey, blah, putting on the fake.
Yeah.
Pinch their cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
I got a buddy, his are like preteens, and they're just kind of shitty.
Yeah.
I just want to push them down a lot.
I feel that.
Yeah. I'm like, you either need to get younger or older, kid.
Yeah.
This is not working
Just
for me.
give it time.
We'll take you out back.
Yeah.
Just put some tough in you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a preteen not that long ago, and I was probably shitty, and so just give it time.
Hey man, angst is real.
Yes,
that's true.
Yeah,
it's hard to
dude.
remember the older you get, but then you see kids and you're like, wait, I was so much worse.
Oh
yeah.
dude.
Oh yeah.
I had teenage angst when I was like 13, and I had nothing to be angsty about.
Right.
Like I was just like,
hormones, man.
I'm a teenager and I'm mad.
Yep.
Rah!
Yeah.
For sure.
Seriously.
That's easy to do.
Yeah. It was a
I think,
trying time.
yeah, everyone goes through that phase, I think.
I'm in the middle of losing all my angst. Like, getting older. I used to be pissed off at the world, do everything. I was crazy as hell. I got stories I can't even say on here,
Yeah.
Wild
Hell yeah.
shit.
Hell yeah.
Being a youth in the South with unlimited supply of land is not a good idea.
No, that's the best. Yeah, that's the jam.
Blowing shit up. Doing
That's how
all
you
kinds-
learn how to do shit.
That's how you become a man.
And now I cry at fucking commercials, man. It's like the testosterone's slowly leaving my body, and I'm like, oh man, that fucking poor dog.
Dog ones will get you. Those are the worst ones, man.
Damn.
Those are the ones that get me every time.
In the arms of an angel.
There you go.
Like the kids on there are sad, with their bloated bellies, but it's the dogs, man. I'm like, oh my god, where do I send my money?
What did they do to deserve this?
Nothing. Here's $5. That's all I got.
I don't know what you're doing with it, but thank you.
Probably nothing.
You're probably keeping it, but I appreciate you.
Just keep it then.
Right?
Thank you for making me cry.
So, 4 bands. What are the bands?
So the main jam is a band called My Hands to War.
Mm-hmm.
We're crazy. We're like Dillinger or The Chariot, that kind of stuff.
Wild.
You know, a lot of timing changes, hanging from the ceiling, just a lot of chop chords, you know. And as we've gotten a little older, most of us are in our 30s now, and it's slowed down a little bit. It's like some rhythmic progressions, you know, actual chorus lines, a little bit more structure to the songs, but we still like to flirt with our old selves. Like, we're writing new songs, and we're actually writing an album right now, which is fun, but it's got a lot more, there's a lot more thought to the, like used to, man, like the whole verse chorus structure, we would have songs that would just be part. There's no structure at all. And now, as we get older, we're just like, man, maybe we, you know, because it's like, I need a, because I drum and sing, so sometimes I'm out of shape too. So when you're playing like that, and then all of a sudden you have to do this pretty thing and sing, it's like, guys, I'm dying. I can't keep up. I either have to lose weight and quit smoking, which probably isn't gonna happen, or I have to sing less, which would actually be kind of nice because I actually like being a drummer. Yeah. Okay, so I'm also a multi-instrumentalist, so I play drums in that band. Then I'm a frontman / the main only guitar in a band called Lame Johnny, and we'll December 7th, come out to Low Key Arts.
What's
Lame
up?
Johnny. 4:00 in the afternoon, we're starting.
Oh, nice.
It's a whole fest. It's 10 bands. It's $10. You can't beat it.
Oh, nice. 10 bands? Holy shit.
Yeah. Some great ones, too, man. El Camino's going to be there.
Nice.
This band, No Remorse, Fred. Trying to remember off the top of my head. It's a shit ton. Abimail from, like, Jonesboro is going to be there. And they're, like, black metal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's Spa City Metal Fest.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. That makes, I was like, wow, that many, like, heavy bands at the Arts Center?
It's kind of funny because I don't particularly consider Lame Johnny heavy, so much more than, like, it's punk rock, but there's a lot of yelling, so.
Yeah.
And then some of that is screaming.
Punk rock and metal, they kind of hold hands.
They do. They flirt with each other. That's what I always say. We flirt with heavy. Like, we wrote a song because My Hands to War is comprised of 5 people. Lame Johnny's a 3-piece, but those same 3 people are in My Hands to War.
Okay.
So sometimes we get our wires crossed while we're writing, and Lame Johnny wrote this song called Mouth Breathers. And I don't know why we did this, but we wrote the song in G, which is, for those of you who don't know what that means, it's incredibly low. But I don't re-intonate the guitar. I just make it all floppy, and I play with tens. So it's like, and I wrote to that sound, you know, and it's basically, the whole song's like 2 notes, but it's heavy. It's so heavy. And then so we went in the studio. We have an album that's going to be coming out next year with a music video and stuff. It's already done. We just have to, release it. And so we went to the studio, and that song's not on the album. Like, it didn't make the cut because when we heard it back, I was like, this is so heavy. Like, this is not the same band. We cannot put this on this record. So we gave that song to My Hands to War because that band can play that song. It's like we wrote a My Hands to War song at a Lame Johnny practice by accident.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boom.
Nice.
And then I'm in I sold out a little this year. I'm in a cover band now because money.
Yeah.
And
especially around here.
Well, I'll tell you what's sad. We just had that incredibly sold out show, and this cover, like the amount of money we made, this cover band's going to make that next weekend in 3 hours.
Yeah.
With no work.
Yeah.
Just practice time.
Yeah. You don't have to write anything.
I always said when I hit a certain age, I was going to have to start doing something because, like, I have a job, but I don't want to have a job.
Right.
I just want to do multiple things that equal up a certain amount of money.
At least to make a living. Stuff that you like to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff that I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's fun.
That's the goal.
Exactly. So I was, like, finally approached by the right people, people that I knew and cared about, because I don't want to just be in a band with anybody. And then, we've already played a show, and now we already got booked for, like, 4 more, Christmas gigs, you know, like a tree lighting ceremony and we're playing in the foyer of a mall and we're doing
nice.
Hell yeah,
so
dude.
like
You guys do some Mariah Carey?
actually we have a female vocalist in that band.
Oh, so maybe.
Well, I don't like Mariah Carey. I just think it's a little
Easy.
too much.
There's a lot of white women that are gonna stab you.
Yeah.
I see you.
You said what about Mariah Carey?
For me, it's just a little too much.
Right,
I
right,
think
right.
she's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not crapping on the quality of the content. I think
Sure.
it's
Just not your style.
it's over extra.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes like over
Yep.
extra, I'm just like it's too the song is already great. You
Yeah.
don't have to do all these
Yeah. You need a little less sugar in your coffee. That's what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I got you. I'm picking
And
up
which
what
is
you're
weird
putting down.
because I listen to, you know, heavy music predominantly,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is kind of funny. But just in certain terms, like somebody with a voice so pretty, I like the voice to just kind of like, you know, carry through and just be like beautiful and almost melodic in that sense. Almost like just sit back and, you know, blaze one and just kind of be like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. More chill.
Chill.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
in,
chill vibes.
I'm in the same. There's exceptions, but I'm kind of in the same boat of like, you know, if I don't know, I don't like vocal runs as much as I'd like rather listen to an instrumental. You know.
Yeah. I feel that. That's kind of like what it is. It's like a vocal run that I feel like a lot of times it's not even necessary. You're already so good.
Right. Exactly.
You don't even have to have all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. The way my brain works, I know people are going to be like, what? I'm not saying she's not the most talented person in the world. I'm just saying it's not for me most times.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
few tracks, but there's that Christmas song that she does.
Yeah.
And that's the
She's
one.
got so many.
Yes.
I know.
She's
But
got,
the-
she's
I
got
mean,
a-
all I want
yeah,
for
she-
Christmas is you is like the
She's got a
biggest.
whole
I think
like,
that's the
album.
one.
That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
biggest Christmas song out like right now.
Yeah.
Everybody, you can't go somewhere and not hear that song.
Yeah.
I think that's the one they talked about doing. And I was just
How
like,
do you think she became like the Christmas like staple for music?
I think it was just that song. I don't know.
well, incredible voice,
Yeah.
Sure.
beautiful woman, and
Okay.
money.
Money.
The people knew. They were
Yeah.
like, well, what's big right now? Well, all the radio stations switched from playing top 40 to just Christmas music. So,
Yep.
boom. Let's
It-
make a Christmas album.
It kind of though didn't it kind of revive her career though? When was the last? I mean, what was the last
shit,
thing you
I
guys
haven't
heard
heard
about
anything
Mariah
from her
Carey
since.
before the Christmas album?
I haven't heard much from her before or after that song.
Like maybe like the early 2000s was the last time I heard anything.
Before
really
the
from her.
residency thing in Vegas, I do believe, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's like Britney Spears, same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you get those residencies and then you just go.
That's
like,
got to be
that's where you're at.
That's got to be the jam though.
You're making like $2 million a night or something, $3
Shit,
million a
dude.
night.
And you don't have to. Everything's already set up for you. You don't have to go in and set anything up. You
They
just
don't change anything.
yeah. You come. You're like everything's set.
yeah.
Like
I used
the
to
best
think
cradle job ever.
I used to think like, oh, that's the worst thing that could happen to a musician's career, but like
Yeah.
now I know like that's probably the best thing that could
It's
happen
gotta be
because you're
the-
more
the
like
jam.
you're more low key, honestly, and like
Well, you don't
oh
have
your
to-
shit, you don't have to move around
There's
and
no
tour
tours.
everywhere.
There's no buses.
Yeah, you don't have to
They
travel.
give you like a suite, so you
Yeah.
live in the hotel.
Yeah.
Which I think that would kind of suck. It's like living and working in the same
Yeah.
building would just get boring. But
I don't know.
but they can go anywhere.
I do that. I
'Cause
do
they
that
have-
with the offshore gig, and I can tell you that something like that, like I wouldn't do it if I didn't have to. You know,
Yeah.
like you got to pretty much ball and chain me in there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sure after like several nights it feels the same way.
Yeah.
With
I'm
that,
sure. Yeah.
But it's got to be.
But it's for the right price.
I will say though,
Yeah.
after a gig, if you want to get loaded up, get crazy, you can just
Yeah.
Yeah,
get
you're
your
in-
own thing and go to
you're
your
in-
hotel room. It's
fucking
great.
Las
Get
Vegas.
fucking wild.
Bro.
Yeah.
You can go gamble.
Yeah.
You got
I
a lot
just
of
made
money,
$3
so you
million.
can just
Yeah,
gamble.
I just-
Yeah, like I can spend $1 million gambling
Plus,
and
you're
be okay.
You're in the middle of the desert. Like you can kill somebody and nobody ever knows.
True.
You
true.
think Mariah Carey's killed somebody?
For sure.
You
I think
think-
all famous people have.
There you go.
Yeah. I think at some
I'd
point you
get
have
into
to
that
with that
It's
amount
probably
of
like
fame.
a
Yeah.
ritual, some sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, to keep your fame, you have to do like a
Right.
satanic ritual.
Okay, so My Hands to War, Lame Johnny,
The cover
Yeah.
band's called Beck and the Boys.
Beck,
Beck
and the
and the
Boys.
Boys.
Because
Okay.
the lead singer's name is Rebecca, and it's actually
Oh, okay.
Todd Weber, the singer from My Hands to War. It's his wife, and she
Oh,
got
okay.
all the pipes.
Nice.
She can sing unbelievable.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Real nice.
Yeah, so like weddings and stuff. So hey, if you're planning on getting married, hit up Pecking the Boy. I'm just gonna use this for plugs the whole time.
Yeah. No, hey, what do you think podcasts are for, man?
Yeah.
Shout out.
This is what you stand on to do that.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like a once a year, twice a year kind of thing. Like it's basically we got drunk one day, just chilling, and I was like, you know what's missing, man? Old school bands, sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of vibes. So we basically wrote 14 Southern metal, just in your face riff songs.
Nice.
And that's all they are. They're just riff, and it's all Southern themed. So like you have like the bends and all that stuff.
Nice.
And like even the song names are like, I've been ready to party since last week. Beer Pyramid. Dressed for Sex is one.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's 2 whole notes.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite songs is called "Shitty Wooden Boat to the New World," and it's just about George Washington, but he's a party animal.
Nice.
Like it's all stupid as hell.
I think that's the most like I don't know. That's the most fun you can have like in a band is when it's not serious. When you don't take yourself too seriously. We
get the most compliments. It's weird when that band plays because we don't play that often. It's only when like a friend asks us to, because then we have to remember these 14 songs that we wrote, 7 years ago.
Pyramid, and George Washington Party Bus.
And we were a band, a fully functioning band, but we couldn't keep a singer to save our life. So we were like, you know what? We'll just do this, and then we'll kind of be like that thing where every time you see it, it's just somebody new singing. And the last few times has actually been Todd anyway, so it's basically my hands to war, but I'm on guitar. And then Justin drums. And Justin drums in Lame Johnny as well, and then he's the guitar player for. So we basically found a group of friends that can put up with each other in a band environment, which is
that's tough.
A lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah, that's a hard jam.
So after, however many years of searching, you find those guys, and you're just like, all right, well, we can just make other bands together too.
Yeah.
So I have band practice like 4 nights a week, plus podcasting, plus having a life, trying to like take my wife to stuff, or just doing shit with friends that isn't music shit, which is hard in my life.
When everything revolves around that, like what else do you do, right?
Right. Like yesterday was the first time I went to the movies in months, and I went with a friend just to go. It was that Dr. Sleep film.
Yeah. How was it?
It's the Shining sequel. For those who aren't familiar, it's all the way fucked up.
Really?
They honestly, for being when did the Kubrick one come out? Like 30, 40 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
It doesn't miss a beat. It's the little kid. It's his story from after. It picks up right after.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Shining even.
Oh,
you should.
Yeah, Kubrick is a god.
Yeah, that dude. There's definitely something wrong with his brain, but in a good way.
Yeah, man. That I don't know if there's a film that
what
he
year
has.
Was that?
80?
1980.
Okay, there you go.
I was thinking 70s.
Yeah, 40 years, right?
Damn.
Close, coming up on 40 years ago.
Yeah, 39.
And the
About
sequel,
to be 40.
And this is the sequel, and it's fantastic, man. They did a great job, but it is dark.
Ewan McGregor, right?
Yeah, and he kills it.
Yeah,
he absolutely kills it.
Nice.
I'm not going to give away any plot details, but if you're any kind of wheezy towards like violence, don't go see it.
Not your jam, huh?
I'm into it.
It's very graphic, and it doesn't leave anything. There's no imaginative like, oh, maybe they didn't do that. Nope, they did it.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the main thing that brings us all together here today is podcasting. Now you have a podcast.
I do.
Would you like to plug that real quick?
Crashcast?
Crashcast.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, tell us about Crashcast. How was that thing born?
It was born up from boredom, and I listen to music and I write music, and so when your life is basically all music, I kind of got tired of just listening to music, and then I wasn't listening to anything, and I found podcasting, and I was like, oh shit, because I love to talk. Clearly, I don't shut up.
Yeah, it's fun.
And so a couple years went by, and I was talking to my friends. Hey man, we should do one of these. We should do one like went to Vino's and had to sit down and drew up like a room just like this. Only our table was like moon shaped, so you just had 3 straight on camera looks, and like a newsroom kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then nothing ever happened, of course, because talk is cheap.
It is.
And
big plans.
Yeah. And then my friend from Florida came home one day, and he had one, and he was like, "Hey, I want you and Justin to be on it." We had just lost our guitar player, so it's like, okay, well, we'll talk about that, I guess, because why not just be sad?
Yeah.
And so he came over. We did it in my shed, that little shed outside my house you guys saw, and dude, it was on. It was on that table. I built that table the next week.
Yeah.
And I was just like, boom, and I did some research, not enough research, but I just hopped on the first thing I saw, paid for the site to hold all the information.
Yep.
And they put it out to all the stuff, and then just, I mean, it was just go.
Yeah.
It's been, and ever since then, it's just been, I can't thank people enough, because I was just doing it to fuck around with my friends, and then it made itself something. Like, I let it just, like, it's kind of like with your music. If you're just organic about it, and you just let it do what it comes naturally to you, you know, it's honest, and people are attracted to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Let gravity do the work. Let the snowball build itself.
Exactly. And so I had no clue. I honestly thought I would have it for 5 years, and me and my friends would just dick off, and just my friends would listen to it, and we'd all laugh together, and we'd say things that get us in trouble.
Sure.
And then and then that would be the end of it, and I would just stop paying for it, and who cares? You know, just another podcast. But it gained its own traction because of the music thing, and I think I literally just fell ass backwards into a niche. I don't think anybody knew they even needed or wanted, and then it just worked. Nice. So it's been working really good. Yeah. Now the only problem is I wasn't ready for it. So now I'm having to carve out all this time and all these ideas, and
that happens. That'll get you.
And being like trying to revive, a dead music scene. Not that it was all the way dead. I don't mean that. It was dying, and it was very, our venues are disappearing left and right. They're all shutting down, and trying to get more people out, and it's like breaking down that and like the mindset that we have now, especially with the advent of the internet coming around like 2007 when it really popped. Not to mention that was the same year the recession hit here, and it's just like all those things at once just kind of killed the vibe.
Yeah.
And if you're young, you don't remember. And also, unfortunately, young people is what drives music venues and music in general. So, as we were going on, there was no youth coming because all the older heads were struggling to make ends meet because of all the bullshit that was going on in the economy. And I feel like this state's so small. We already had such a small niche anyway.
Yeah.
That once all that fell apart, and then like their kids didn't come, or like who's taking you to shows? Like everyone's worried about like my electric bill and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I think also too, with the internet becoming so prevalent around that time as well, and the oversaturation of the access to all these bands and everything you're listening to, you're already getting that feel. So unlike the 90s and the early 2000s, when people would just go to shows to find new music, they would just go on the internet and just grab it from Napster or whatever.
And I'll say that too, when the venues, this is a lot of things. This isn't just one thing. And there was, and some of the blame definitely lies on the venue, but it's not like they didn't try. I'm friends with most of those people who own those venues that are now gone, and it was just like the perfect storm of shit, So like the internet's coming around, and flyers don't really work. They work more now than they did when the internet first popped. So, because now we're figuring this shit out. Now it's kind of like, okay, now we really kind of want a mix of like the old way to do shit and the new way. But before that, these guys had to be like, well, shit, so our internet presence, let's do this. But then they, now we know. Back then we didn't. The AIs throttle shit, and they only push it to so many people. So then, when a band like Under Oath comes to town and 50 people show up, and the last time they were here there was 1,400, it's like...
Yeah, like, and obviously there's an issue.
Yeah, and they already knew, those people know, like, for people who don't know that, but those bands, those bigger bands, there are lists and lists of cities, and they're marked by like a market. Like, this is where your band belongs. You're a C market band, and we're a C market state, which is not great because most of the things you listen to are B and A. Most.
Sure.
Even a mildly popular band, it doesn't take a lot to get into a B market. C market is for like low level, non-signed,
just local
shit.
Here,
mostly.
much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we have such a thriving local scene now. And it kind of sucks because, like, well, you miss out. You have to travel a lot to go to those bands, you know, the big band vibe. But it's nothing a local band can't recreate. And sometimes, man, some of the local bands we've had are some of the best bands I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Yeah.
Way better than anything top tier.
Yeah.
And you go and you're watching them, you're just like, this is magic what they're doing.
Yeah.
But again, some of the best bands that were ever had, nobody ever heard of them, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's a whole litany of issues. And the biggest one being, even at that time, our population has doubled in like the last decade. But it took a decade to double, and before that, there was no one here. So our population's like roughly 3 million in that area.
We're also like strategically placed in a horrible position between Dallas, Oklahoma
and
City, Memphis,
St. Louis, fucking
New
everywhere,
Orleans.
dude. Yeah.
We're like smack dab. We're a day just to pass through from everything.
Yep.
So it's nothing just a
Bands stop here all the time to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Take a piss, fill up, grab a bite.
I see them on the Instagram, like parked outside of whatever the hell Arkansas at a truck stop, and you're like, shit, dude.
Yeah. So you know, like you were talking about before, like there's really not a ton of young people coming out to shows and stuff like that. And I wasn't alive whenever Vino's was like crazy and popping and like all this shit. But what I have noticed is that the thing that really does bring kids is like the local rap scene.
Yes.
But it's kind of died off because
Goon, those guys went away.
Yeah, Goon and Tan and Ish, everyone moved to L.A. and
For good reason.
I mean, for good reason. Absolutely, yeah.
And I've got some, I can't say it, but secret information.
Yeah.
There are others that are going as well. And yeah, man. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, I'm scared that, it's going to be kind of the death of the rap scene. And like, fucking whenever Vilepack was huge here, Vilepack, they brought so many people into Vino's, and then they split up, and then Goonie left. And
here's the deal with that, though. Here's the deal with that. That's all good, and I agree with all that. But anyone can do what they did.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
There's formulas in place of things that work, systems that work, and that's kind of like what we've been doing. We just had almost a record-breaking show over the last weekend.
Yeah.
But it stemmed from trying new things. We're trying to find out what works, and that's really a main goal of our podcast and the people that I have involved with my podcast. Is like, let's figure out a system that works that people can vibe with. And I will say, at that show, yeah, there was a lot of familiar faces, but there was a lot of faces I've never seen in my life. So people are paying attention. I think it takes everyone doing everything, but also if you're a rap artist or a hip hop or a lo-fi, or you're in a metal band or a punk rock band, if you're sitting around bitching that no one's coming and all you ever did was make a single Facebook post, well then fucking that's why no one's coming.
Yeah. You gotta plug that shit.
People
everywhere.
now, I think genuinely, who you are speaks more than it ever has. Like, if you're not real about it, they're not gonna fuck with you. They don't care.
Yeah.
If
People can tell.
If you're not excited, they're not excited. They don't give a shit. You're like, oh, you made a post, and like 15 people showed up. It's like, damn, you made one post and 15 people showed up. That's pretty fucking good.
I mean, that's actually pretty good. Yeah. Let's be real. That's pretty good.
Try 10 posts next time.
Exactly.
Maybe that's 150 people.
Yeah.
Boom. Great show.
Yeah. Try some flyers.
Yeah.
Flyers, we've been doing it. This guy, Stan from Terminal Nation, he did its really unique flyer where it was like the header of the flyer was more of like a question. Like, tired of being blah blah blah, like a statement or something, and then underneath in the smaller print, so you had to walk up and read it, was the information for the show.
That's
I was like, that's
cool.
so smart.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
Attention grabbers.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the police shut down all the house venues, which sucks because there was a whole vibe and community and scene that was just like house show band. That's what you would call them. Like, they don't play venues, they play house shows. And
there's some give and take with that too. Like, sometimes those are really great shows.
Right.
You get really great bands that get that early exposure out of the way, and then they have more confidence to get into
a venue.
venues.
That's
but
right.
at the same time, if it's 10 o'clock at night and I got to get up at 7 a.m., I don't want some band beating next door. So there's some give and take there.
There is, totally. And it does suck because now we have basically 3 venues.
I mean, that's the downfall, right?
And all those guys, a lot of those guys have moved to this place called EJ's, which is a great spot. I played there one time. It was a fantastic show. Loved it. It's a floor show, so it's got like all the right vibes of a house show, but you're just in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And so it works. But again, yeah, you want to get all that early shit out of the way, build an audience, because you don't want, 10 people in a house show, pretty kick ass. Small living room.
Yeah.
30 people is like, wow. But 10 to 30 people in a venue is like, oh shit.
Well, also, if you can work shit out at a really small show like that. Like, you have problems. If you're just learning to play music, you're just you just got your first band together.
Right.
You guys have been together for not very long. You're playing together. You fuck up. Who cares? It's a fucking little house show. You do that on a venue, and people are like, nah, I saw them one time. Fuck that.
Yeah, for sure.
And not saying you have to be the tightest if you're playing a venue, because God knows musicians.
I've been playing for 12 years, and we just played that. I fucked up twice.
I mean, that's the way it goes, right? That's
one of the
music in
times
general.
my double pedal came unattached.
Jeez.
So I was like, shit.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
It sucked.
That's fucking metal.
Yeah.
I mean, shit
You just
like
had to
that
kick the
happens.
drum with your foot.
Well, I told everyone, and they were like, you were doing that with your single foot? And I was like, yeah, it sucked.
You learn to work through that shit,
yeah.
though. That's the whole point.
Working on the fly, then there's only one way to learn. It has to happen.
You got to fuck up.
You got to fuck up. Yeah.
That's the story of my whole life. That's
Right.
Yeah.
how I've learned everything is by fucking shit up.
Same.
I learned to hammer by smashing my fingers. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You're only gonna do it once.
Yeah. You learn not to.
You don't want twice.
Yeah. You learn not to fuck up. That's the secret. I think, like going back to what you were talking about with like the rap scene, though, like in a pond, once the big fish dies or the big fish gets caught and leaves, the small fish got to fill that void.
Yeah, for sure.
But
100%.
if they don't, if they're not hungry and they're not going after it, they're not going to be the next
Right.
big fish.
And there's other rappers that like, they're still going after it. Like shit like MVK Lewis and fucking Pearl Gang and Cool Chris and there's a lot of local rappers that are still like trying to go and get it. They just have to come out, with the same presence, with the same energy, with the same everything that Goonie and
I mean, it doesn't have to be the
Hector's
same. They
Well,
just have to
but
be
like,
ready to.
But they have to come up
do
with
it,
the same like
you know?
genuine, kind of
be genuine, but all.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you just can't stop.
That's it.
Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
never stop.
Yeah.
Like your presence has to be so all the fucking time, which sucks for somebody
You gotta want it. You gotta be hungry.
that's like busy. I get it. It sucks. I'm busy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I don't have any days off. The only day I get to spend like at home are Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Every other night I have something to do, and it's just like,
Well, here's the thing. If
when you're taking a shit at work, instead of just sifting through Instagram or playing fucking Candy Crush, make a post.
Yeah.
Or respond to a message. Like,
Yeah.
use that time as business time instead of just basically, shitting on the clock.
Do some business
Yeah,
while you're
yeah,
doing your
yeah,
business.
there you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
If
a
you-
good slogan. I like that.
If you don't want it, don't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
That's the thing. That's the big thing.
Some people, I mean, people, I think a lot of people like get into this thinking like, oh, I'm going to be huge. I'm going to be,
Never.
I want to
Don't
get
ever
into
do
it.
that.
No.
Yeah.
And they're not willing to put in the work.
Well, that's
you
all
know?
the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause if I was in it for the money, I'd have quit fucking 20 years ago when I
Yeah,
started.
exactly. It's if you really, everyone who makes it big did it because they love doing what they do.
And you have to, because that's what really matters at
It's
the
a
end of the day.
labor of love.
Because
it really is.
I've been approached by labels in 3 different bands.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times with band guys, they just want to be in a band.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to actually, tour or do that kind of stuff. They
Right.
just want to play music in front of their friends, which is fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're not honest about that with people like me. It's like, dude, when I was 17, I was like, I'm a rock star,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all the fuck I'm ever going to be.
Yeah.
I started playing guitar when I was 15, and it's been ever since then. Like, I got on stage for one time, and I was like, fuck, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always just done kind of whatever, and then other people, you get these moments, and then they get scared because, like, oh, shit, it's real. Like,
Yeah.
we did something so good that somebody paid attention.
Mm-hmm.
And not shitting on them. I love them. They're still my friends. We still talk. But that, that's happened a few times, and then it's just like, oh, well, I could have been there if I'd have had the right people in place,
Yeah.
For sure.
And you have that's a thing too, and I feel like that's why a lot of people, especially younger people, have switched to. There's a huge trust issue. Just, I don't know if it's all over the world, but in this nation for sure, nobody's trusting anybody. I think that's why hip hop is just exploding, because everybody's just doing it for themselves. And I get
Yeah.
it with the way the internet works, and you have a MacBook, and boom, All you need is that.
Yeah,
and
for
GarageBand, and it's free when you buy that. So it's like,
and like you said, with the internet, people are starting to come out independently. People are are not signing with labels, and they're coming out with their shit, no label, selling it, and getting big off.
The
of
only
it.
good thing a label really can offer you these days is upfront cash. They're basically a bank for poor creative people. Upfront cash and a way to distribute that. If you want physical media, like if that's really something you want to push, that.
Yeah. But the cash isn't even really. It's just it's not doing you any good because they're going to get it back.
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course.
There are these days now with the music industry having the little bit of money that they do, which is very little compared to what it was for sure.
Right.
There's a lot of better ones out there that aren't trying to just scam you for everything you've got. You're in debt when you make a record.
Yeah.
There's better ones out there now, but there still are some that try to fuck you.
Exactly.
Because it's a business.
Yeah.
It's not an art anymore. It's a business.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to go that far, if you don't have the know-how or for some reason the dumb luck to get yourself, do it yourself, DIY. Like there have been people that have done it, but the amount of people that have done it versus the amount that went with the label.
Right, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Right. Very small. So.
But, it can also kind of be harder to get that exposure, because of the internet. And because
it's full.
It's so oversaturated, dude. There's so much. Like, go on SoundCloud right now.
Oh, I know. It's.
If you try to find, yourself on SoundCloud, that shit is you have to sift through fucking song after song after song. There's so many fucking endless. People on SoundCloud.
That's everything.
And it's free uploading, why wouldn't you want to use that?
Exactly.
But it's just become so oversaturated, I think, that it's hard for people nowadays to get noticed.
That's why I'm more of the aspect now that you use that streaming shit for the people who are already your fan. And you have to get into people's faces to make new ones. You got to go. You got to tour. Even if you're a hip-hop artist, whatever.
Yeah.
Get in a car, just like a stand-up comedian would.
You got to get out there.
Drive your ass by yourself with your laptop to a venue. Or bring a buddy, a DJ, whoever, a producer, and just do the damn thing. The same thing as a band going on tour. Just get in their front of their faces. You get, if you're as good as you think you are, and you know it, and you can feel it, you go and you play the show in front of 10 people with the same old thing. Those 10 friends tell 10 friends. And the next time you come back, instead of 10, it's 50. Okay, do it again.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And it's a forever task.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people. I'm bringing it back to Goonie. I think why people respected him so much is because no matter where he went, if it was in Arkansas or out of state, even he was playing a show like he was in Little Rock.
That's right.
Like everybody was his fan. And he was up in your fucking face about it, and he was just going hard, the whole show.
Oh,
was not afraid of anything. It was crazy.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's signed, so there you go.
To fucking Def Jam.
Def Jam, bruh.
He's not just signed.
Yeah, he's signed to Def Jam.
He's all the way signed.
Yes.
That man's on the biggest hip hop label of all time.
Yep. Yeah. So respect.
That's what it
Shout
takes.
out.
The grind. That's what it takes.
Dude, he was homeless for 3 years.
Yes. Yeah. I've even got his homeless world tour shirt, and I miss those days. Reminiscing.
Hey man.
But hey man, yeah. There's more shows. There's more shows. Always.
There's always shows and sorry, I keep coughing. I smoke. It's a terrible habit. Don't do it, kids. One of my things that when I first started, the goal was to play with those other bands, right? One, I always say if you're in a band, you should go work for a venue and see how it really is on the other side. It's the most important thing I ever did, because now I know how to respect all sides of the whole thing. The sound guy's a dick, but he's a dick because you suck. That's true.
Well,
he doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you come in and he's a dick at first, when you start being ultra professional and knowing your shit and just running it down. Hand him a monitor list, especially if you're in a band. That's a great one. Then he's like, oh, shit. Oh, these guys. Okay. And then almost always you can get the attitude to shift.
Well, there's always in any business, in any situation, it's always a help me, help you. You know what I mean? Nobody's trying to stab anyone for the most part.
Not usually.
Unless they're just trying to take your wallet.
Usually that's at the top. Those problems exist at the top. I used to work big concerts, and there is definitely a thing. If you've ever wondered why the first band just didn't sound quite as good, That's on purpose. They do that on purpose.
I've heard shit
That
like
is
that
real.
before, but
That's 100% real. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And almost every big band that is on a major label is going to have backing tracks for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like
For
it just
sure.
it cleans everything up.
Yeah.
They're
just-
selling you a product.
yeah, it's
But-
a polished.
But the point I was trying to make is when we first started and we first got good, we're like, oh shit, we don't suck anymore. Because
Yeah.
when you don't know until you do know, because then you finally have the conversations like, oh man, we're actually like doing well. And so you start wanting to play with these bigger bands. It's like, fucking, Under Oath's coming through. Can we hop on that show or this, that, and the other? And then finally, like we took a hiatus for a few years, like 3 years, because I was just mad at the world and Todd.
Which band is this?
My Hands to War.
Okay.
So we took like a little 3-year break, and when we came back, we decided we're going to do it for ourselves this time. Instead of doing all that hard work for the bands coming through, why don't we just do it for ourselves? And it's been paying off. Like last year, our smallest show was, we didn't play in front of any less than 100. This year, we haven't played in front of any less than 200.
Yeah.
Just is like, if
Which
you're going
is-
to work that fucking hard anyway, why is this? I mean, I love that band, don't get me wrong, but fuck you. You go get your money where
Yeah.
you go get your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm gonna get my crowd and my money, and we're gonna keep doing more stuff. Like we always do something different every show. That's one of the great things. It's one of the things I love the most about that band. Every show's different. You're never gonna get the same show twice. We spend a lot of time and effort making sure that everything we do is like down to the stupidest detail for no reason. I lose sleep over that shit. Like the night before that show, and it was already sold out. I'm still like, okay, I got to do this. If I do it this way, if I show up this time, I can set up like this, blah, 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 blah. And if it's this band, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, no, that's what you got to do.
It is.
That's what you got to do.
Attention to detail counts, man. Don't just show up, throw your shit on stage, be an asshole.
You
and
give
then-
those people what they pay for.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, dude, our shows are $10 or $5 sometimes. Like, there's not a show on this fucking planet you're gonna get what you get
Yeah.
for $5 fucking dollars, man.
Yeah.
Man, $5. It's so crazy to me that like people don't want to come out to shows anymore because like most of the time, especially here, it is super cheap, man.
Yeah.
And like live music in general just puts you in a different place. Like
If it's good, when
yeah,
it's good,
yeah.
it's life changing.
Yeah.
like I'm me
There's not a
personally,
feeling like
yeah.
There's not.
I'm not necessarily into like the hardcore,
Right,
stuff, whatever. But when I saw what the fuck, Terminal Nation, dude, I lost my shit.
You can't help it.
You can't help it.
It doesn't matter if you
It's
don't like it.
great.
Yep.
Yeah, live music just it changes. Like I don't know how to describe it.
And what's great is the universal law of truth is when it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you don't like it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. That's why when people shit on bands who are like undeniably talented, it's like, well, you can't shit on.
Yeah.
You just don't like it.
Yeah,
And that's
it's just
fine.
not for your personal
but
taste.
I bet money.
But
Like I used to
acknowledge.
hate Linkin Park. Right? Hated them. Dude, 2 singers. I thought Chester sounded like someone trying to, like, I hated it
Yeah.
so much when it first came around. All my friends loved it, and then I went and saw him live, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's just the album. And then you watch it live, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
dude, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Rest in peace, Chester.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's why like
Pour one out.
anytime like we're talking about music that I'm not like into, I've gone from trying to change like the way I talk to like saying, oh, that band fucking sucks, to like, that band's not really my style.
It's not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not my style. Yeah.
I try to do that too. Now, sometimes, again, there's the crux of working
Yeah.
at a venue.
But some bands
Let's be
fucking
real,
suck.
there
Don't
are
meet
But
your
some
idols.
bands
Yeah.
fucking suck. But
Because I met some bands, and that night, I had their albums, and that night I went home and threw them in the garbage.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Well, when you meet someone like that, even a good band, even a good music band, if you're just dealing with a bunch of assholes all the time, fuck them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that doesn't even just carry to music and bands. That's everyone in general.
Everyone.
Which is why it's great to you just gotta be nice to people. You know?
yeah.
It's-
What's
just
the
don't
point
be
of
a
being
dick.
an asshole? What's the point?
Well,
don't
and
be a dick.
sometimes it is a one-off because there's bands that I've worked with twice, and the second time you're like, oh, okay, they were having a bad day. These guys are in buses, they're away from their family,
Yeah,
they miss
sure.
all
Yeah.
the important shit. So you have to remember from their perspective as well, it's like it sucks.
Everyone has a shitty day.
Of course.
You know.
But there's a two-way street there.
Yeah.
You know? And if
And I've even had people apologize at the end of the night.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
hey man, I'm sorry. I was, I'm just having a bad day. That's cool.
Which that'll neutralize some of that, right?
100%. No, I give it up
That's
immediately.
the milk to the
Yeah.
spicy pepper right there. That helps, you
The
know?
apology and the next time around are the two things. Like, and I don't
Exactly.
hold grudges, so
Yeah.
it's just like, well, the next time was perfect, so I get it. They just had a bad day, and I just so
Exactly.
happen to get the brunt of it. 'Cause-
Shit happens. Especially when you're like your schedule's super busy, like all the time, you're
Right.
super hectic. So in a particular situation, you might snap,
Yes.
and you'll have that.
Yeah. of
Stress
course.
causes that. That's the way it works.
Yeah, exactly.
But you could, like, even if you're having that bad day, at the end of it all, like you said, hey, look, it's a shitty situation. Sorry, I didn't mean to be a dick.
Yeah.
I realized I was a
acknowledge
dick.
it. Acknowledge it, right?
Yeah. I'll try better.
Yeah.
Here's a
And
good one.
that's the thing. Just always try better.
Here's a good, this guy's just a dick story. So, sound guy at the Elbow Room in Chicago. Fuck that place. We played there on tour a year ago, next week. And we show up, sound guy's like mean. I was like, all right, I get it. Like, I'm telling him, all right, cool, man, this is what we like in our monitors. Like, trying to be professional. Like, here, let me, where do you want us to be? Like, I'm being very accommodating. Play the show. Show's over. I even went up to him like, man, mix was great, blah, 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 blah. Nothing.
What?
Just didn't say nothing. And I was like, oh, actually, it sounded like shit, and fuck you, and walked off. And because it actually wasn't good. And
Yeah.
he didn't want to be there. And you
Yeah.
could tell. And I was just like, actually, you're just an asshole.
Why would
yeah.
you work at a music venue if you don't want to go see shows?
Well, a lot
Money.
of those
Yeah.
guys, that's what it is.
That's a
is
It's
the
like,
money
job.
that good?
No.
No,
It's just-
But it's a job.
It's a job.
Gotcha.
Same way that, like, I'm sure a lot of times you don't want to be at work and you would like to be like, fuck this to those people,
Yeah.
those old dudes.
Well-
like, fuck your old ass, you fucking fuck, you know? I mean, I'm like that all the time. Fuck this goddamn boat.
I'm not gonna say anything about work because someone at work on their Facebook feed, I guess she was friends with Brooke on Facebook, and like the podcast popped up on her timeline, and she showed it to me, and I was like, "Is this you?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, no! Please,
Nice.
please don't watch that. Don't watch any of those."
I've
I
I've
mean-
boiled everything down really to, like, I just remind myself all the time, especially in those situations where I'm stressed and I'm trying to snap and, like, I got too much going on and there's
Yeah.
somebody that's just like, it's too much. I just gotta slow down. I just give a fuck.
Yes,
Just give one fuck. Just give one fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely find myself in that situation, especially being around like older people. Sometimes, they're just not there. Like I tell myself, like, they're not there mentally a lot of
Yeah.
the time. They're losing it, and honestly, like a lot of people in like the Alzheimer's unit of the facility, like their family doesn't come and visit
No.
them. So like really we're their family. So we
Yeah.
have to treat them as if they were our family,
Exactly,
you know.
yeah.
And I try to do that with every resident.
And that- That's tough, man.
But I love the job, man. I
Yeah,
love it.
that's
I
cool.
really do. I love all the people there. Every resident there, I love like they're my own.
Kudos on that one because
It's,
I couldn't have that job.
No, me neither.
It
My
takes-
great grandmother.
It takes patience.
She had that shit, and that's what she eventually, succumbed to, because eventually your brain just starts shutting everything down. and
You forget how to do
breathe.
everything.
Yeah, like your auditory stuff
Yeah.
just goes, and it's just like, ugh.
It's
dude,
tough, man. It really
that
is.
was
And
one of
watching,
the worst things.
Yeah, watching the decline of it really is fucking tough.
Old people
man.
and children are a similar street.
Right.
And I don't like to go down that
tough.
road.
Mhm. It's tough. It
I'm
really
always
is.
going the wrong way on that one way, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's don't watch Doctor Sleep. That's all. That
Oh, have
shit.
you seen Hereditary?
No,
Dude,
I haven't.
That movie's fucked up.
I love a
is
good
I
horror
love
film,
it.
but like I'm so busy and I have such
Yeah,
finite
for sure.
time, and my wife is the nightmare type, so she can't watch them.
Yeah,
So the
I
amount
get
of
you.
the amount of time I actually can put to like a horror film is very slim. I
If
haven't
you-
seen a lot of them.
If you do get time, I'd recommend Hereditary. I think it was great.
What is Hereditary?
We've talked about it on the podcast before.
shit.
Like
Whoops.
like
Brought
my
to you by
favorite
beer.
like yeah, like my favorite, it's my favorite horror movie of all time right now, at least. I mean, it's just like a psychological like fuck you to the audience, essentially. Like it's so good. I think it's so good. And I'd also recommend Joker. Joker's a great movie too.
Haven't seen it.
It's
I want to because I'm a massive fan of all that. But
I watched the trailer like really going in with like low expectations. I didn't expect because I'm not really a big comic book like movie guy. You know, it's not really my cup of tea. But when I watched Joker, it was fucking great.
It's the highest grossing superhero film as far as budget to dollars made. It's going to cross $1 billion, and it only cost $68 million to make.
Oh my god!
We've talked about it several times before on here, but I get kind of bummed out that it was a superhero movie.
That it wasn't just like a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Joker's been around for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they just make him look like an idiot.
See, that's true. That's the one thing in the movie where I'm like, okay, you know, whatever, but the rest of it I thought was great.
It's like basically if they just if they did a Batman film about Batman where he wasn't rich. Like that's not fucking Batman. Like they make the Joker look like an idiot. And you're like, that's not fucking the Joker.
I think past that though, I think that's the way that superhero movies should be made. In that kind of style of like a movie and not like a summer blockbuster. Well, it's like, you know what I'm saying?
I always said that Logan, man, if he didn't have claws coming out of his hands, that shit would have won an Oscar.
I've never seen that one.
Dude, it is. The acting is out of this world.
It is fantastic. It is still fairly action packed, but that belongs with the canon. That's the real fucking story.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how it was written, and that's how they shot it, and they did a fantastic job.
The visuals are.
Yeah,
but that's what
they did a great job with.
I have heard a lot of things, even from the director about Joker, that might change your opinion on it. But I don't want to say it on here because I don't want to spoil a movie for Cory or anybody else that's watching. But
I mean, we're probably one of the only two people that haven't seen it. It's made almost $1 billion, which is fucking staggering.
I've seen it, and
you did see it?
I did see it, and I don't dislike it. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
The cinematography's fucking fantastic.
Of course.
And even
the
like
way
just
it's
from
shot
the trailers, you know,
is great.
The script was like pretty mediocre, but Joaquin Phoenix makes it amazing.
He does.
Like,
he's a master.
Oh my
plus
god,
plus.
dude, it was so good.
But it bums me out because it's a Batman movie because it's not the character that they're portraying.
Yes.
And second, if you take that aspect away, it's just a sad white dude movie.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, so was like Taxi Driver.
Yeah, but Taxi Driver was ahead of its time in that.
Way
right. But when's the last time you seen a movie like Joker?
And really, in Taxi Driver, he turns out to be a fucking hero.
Yeah. Well, the anti-hero, which is what sometimes the Joker is. Yeah.
That's kind of what Joker's like portrayed to be in his own.
Because you get it.
You're like, exactly. You get it.
I wouldn't do this, but man, if somebody would.
But that's the fucking thing. He's not an anti-hero.
Right, but it's from the perspective of Joker.
He is in the movie.
He's a villain because in the Batman movies, it's from the perspective of Batman, right? But in this movie, it's from the perspective of Joker. So, of course, it's going to make himself seem like the anti-hero.
Well, that's the whole thing, though, is that's not the character.
I should have seen
So you're fucking up the whole canon.
Right.
Yeah.
I really wanna...
Yeah, we're going off on a tangent here about something that you have no idea.
Yeah, we do that every now and then.
I'm just sitting here like, don't say the wrong thing. Don't.
I have a question about a goose for you, Cory.
Goose?
Oh yeah, we got deep in
me and Randy got heated about this.
You want to know a fucking a goose?
A goose.
Okay,
right, bring it to me.
Hypothetical situation. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're in a gladiator arena.
Okay.
It's life or death. You versus a goose. Do you think you could kill the goose?
Fuck yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I live next to like 100 geese.
Dude.
The Canadian geese. I have a pond. That pond I have.
Yeah.
They all fly in there every single day. I will fuck all those geese up.
Easily.
They're mean as hell. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they're
I'm gonna
mean
come
as
out
shit.
with some.
They're terrifying.
You'll come out with some welts and some lacerations and shit, but I will fucking murder a goose.
I mean,
dude.
I run from them when they come at me because I don't want to hurt them.
Because it's not life or death.
Well, because they're gonna fuck you up.
Well, it's gonna hurt because I'm not gonna hurt them back.
Yes, exactly.
Because if I wanted to, I reach down and go like this. It's over for
fucking
Mr. Goose.
dead.
They're quick though. You think
they
you can
are.
grab one?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
I was raised in the South when it was the South. Like sticks were guns. You had to make your own fire and shit. Like nothing existed here.
I don't know,
I would crush a goose's fucking skull under my boot.
I've killed a lot of things in my life, but I don't know that I could do it.
Y'all want a good goose story?
Yes.
I do want a goose story.
We're all fans of Every Time I Die, I assume.
I've never
the name
listened
of your
to
podcast.
them.
I am. Yeah.
Same old devils. But so we covered them this last weekend. And so finding a goose costume, one, fucking impossible. Two, if you want a mascot costume that's a goose, it's $1,200. I'm not paying
Holy
that.
fuck.
Holy shit.
So yeah,
Jesus.
so yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well he's goose, he's real skinny. I'm clearly a fat fuck. So I spray painted on a T-shirt, I'm fat goose. Well, I didn't think that shit through because when I sit down, my stupid stomach gets in the way, and so when I sit down, the shirt just said I'm fat.
Wow.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
Here, let me show the camera.
Go for it.
That's fucking hilarious, dude.
It just says I'm
Yeah,
fat.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's fucking good, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. That's good.
I was just like,
That's solid.
I didn't think that shit through. Because now this is
Wow.
everywhere. there's mountains of video footage.
You set yourself up on that one. Yeah, that's rough.
That's fucking funny. I like
I
that.
roll with
I like that.
I think if I got skinny, I would be one of those guys. It's like, wow, you're just not the same anymore, man.
You
I wish you were
changed.
fat.
You changed, dude.
yeah.
You've changed.
Weight's kind of like part of the persona now.
Okay.
There's
I can
nothing
see
wrong
that.
with that.
Yeah.
You know, pizza rolls and
Pizza
I mean,
no
rolls.
sleep.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out. Y'all want to know how to make pizza rolls better?
How?
Deep
Butter.
fry them shits.
Yeah.
Really?
Put Parmesan on them.
Yeah.
See, I don't
It'll
have
change
like
your life.
I don't have a deep fryer.
That's okay.
You don't
You
need
can
it.
deep fry in a pot.
Yeah.
Really?
Little pan, about this
Yeah.
much oil.
Just
About
fill-
half.
Okay.
You want it to be about half of what the pizza roll
Okay.
is and then flip them.
All right. Okay.
Last week we talked about we had the very lovely Taylor on here.
Yes, she was amazing.
Super badass.
Mhm.
Taylor Tisdale.
She
She's
makes our
fucking
pins.
fantastic.
Mhm.
But she was on here and we talked about prison spread.
Yes.
Basically a ramen burrito.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We had to teach Felix the different ways to hook up his ramen.
Yeah, I've never.
His college kid
Oh,
life.
dude, we found this gem, dude. This guy who showed us how to make prison spread, he was the best. I don't even remember his name. It was like Chef. Fuck, I don't know, but
I don't
he was
remember.
amazing.
Yeah, it was a good time.
But now
You
I
know,
want to try
what-
spread really bad.
The Vulgar Chef on Instagram and YouTube's a pretty good
The
one.
vulgar,
Vulgar
chef.
Chef?
I've never heard of.
He is hysterical and he makes the most. It's all cheap stuff,
Mhm.
Okay.
but he makes these wild and out, fucked up things and then just eats them. And he says a lot of swear words.
Love
Nice.
that. Love that.
And it's one of my favorite accounts, The Vulgar Chef. And he's just like, his last thing was like spaghetti-o tacos. Like, yeah.
Interesting.
And you're sitting there looking at it like, you know what? I kind of want to taste what a
I'd try it.
spaghetti-o taco
I'd
looks
try
like,
it.
you
Yeah.
know?
I'd give that a shot.
Why not?
Some
See,
old,
The
some
Vulgar
old
Chef.
soup circles.
Shit, he's got like.
Just the other night, I made some. I took just like some boxed mac and cheese,
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
threw a little threw some jalapeno in there, a little bit of some fresh garlic, fucking
bitch.
just cleaned it up a little bit.
Garlic
A
and
little bit
onion
more.
powder.
Onion powder.
What?
Those two things go in
Really?
everything.
I'm telling you, just
And
a
mac
pitch-
and cheese?
I'm
Those two
telling
things
you,
go
man.
in
Really?
everything. It
If
doesn't
you
matter
could
what
do
you're doing.
A handful of real cheese in that box mac, a little bit of onion powder, some garlic, dude,
Oh, fuck.
flavor profile goes
Okay.
all the way up.
All right.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
On the Vulgar Chef here, we've got a Vienna sausage and dill pickled Jello.
Whoa.
What the fuck
Yeah.
is this?
Yo, no, dude.
What have you turned me on
Yeah. The best thing you never knew you wanted.
to?
Jesus.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I want to turn this down. Stop!
Look. And then
Don't make noise.
I have a hard time with Vienna sausage. That's.
Oh my god, he's putting fucking
Ketchup.
ketchup and mustard on it.
Ooh.
Dude, I'm going to vomit. That looks so nasty.
All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oof. Ouch.
Okay. Spaghetti-o bananas.
There you go. Spaghetti.
Pumpkin pussy.
Christ.
A corn sandwich.
Holy
A corn
fuck.
McMuffin. That
So
doesn't-
kind of like all the shit
Pizza-
you see on the internet, a lot of it this guy does.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
pizza, egg. That doesn't look too bad, honestly. I'd try that. Egg pizza.
Yeah, it's a sandwich he made with leftover pizza.
I'd try that.
That's what. Yeah, that's good.
I'd
Jim.
try that. Damn, that does.
Ramen out of a
Pumpkin
pumpkin.
ramen.
There you go.
That could be okay. Oh, pickled corn
Pickle
dog.
corn dog.
Holy Christ.
Yo, I'm fucking down already.
Yeah, I'm into that jam.
Come on, load for me, baby. Dude,
That looks pretty good.
that's bitching.
I could get into that.
I would eat the shit out of that, honestly. You
Well,
like fried
you,
pickles? You like corn dogs? Boom, baby.
You cook much? You like to cook?
Yeah.
What's your jam? What you super into? What secrets can you tell us?
Ooh.
Like cheap food fixes?
Cheap, not cheap. It doesn't matter. What's
Tell
your
you
favorite?
one thing
What's
I
your
do want to
go-tos?
try. I have go-tos, man. Like wholesome.
Yeah.
Like last night was pork tenderloin and those golden potatoes. You got to get the baby goldens, man. They cook so much better. They're a little more waxy variety, but
they cook quicker.
They cook quicker, and I just feel like the mouthfeel, especially with the tenderloin, like legendary. Put some carrots off in that bitch, a little bit of onion to season the meat.
Yeah.
Dude.
I get down
And we
with
do
Tenderloin's the shit.
We were using a crock pot, but my wife got given one of those old school oven style crock pot things,
like
the big
pressure
basin.
cooker kind of deal.
No.
Or like...
It's just like it kind of looks like stoneware, and you put the lid on. I don't know what the name of the fucking thing is, but you stick it in
Dutch
the
oven.
Describe it. He'll
Dutch
find
oven.
out.
Yeah, maybe
It's a
that's
Dutch
it.
oven.
It's a Dutch oven.
See if you can find something
And
it's
so we
Dutch
found this fucking thing, and it cooks food
like that.
like these things.
slightly faster. Yeah, but
Like it keeps all the heat inside of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's like that, but like a little bit more elongated. So I guess it's probably the same thing.
Like
just,
that fourth one there.
Yeah,
This one
yeah,
here?
just like that one.
Okay, yeah. Oval Dutch oven.
Dude,
Nice.
Yeah.
it's out of this world. That
Yeah.
thing cooks food, unbelievable. So we're really right now we're into like like cooking everything at once.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
We just don't have time.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Big one pot.
Yeah, one
That's
pot
it.
meals.
That's how you get flavor in everything.
I love grilling.
and it's easy.
I love grilling. I'll grill anything. I grilled chili one day, man. I was like out.
Yeah, grills.
She was like, "Let's make chili," and so I just like, fuck it. So I grabbed a cookie sheet, that one of those deep ones. I grabbed or a brownie tray or whatever the hell it is called. Took it outside and just made everything outside. Like, I
Hell
turned on
yeah.
the grill and just was like,
Yeah.
this is way better.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got gas. You got charcoal.
Both.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Time is of the essence in my life. So like when I got time, I'll
with you.
charcoal it out. But if I don't,
Propane.
gas. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Propane and propane accessories.
Kid's been whacking at my tool. Shit, dude. But yeah, dude, that and like, I like to do weird shit. Like this is gonna sound real fucked up, but rice, green beans, chicken Alfredo, it's a pretty solid mix.
Really?
Really, huh?
I do the French cut Del Monte. I'll cook the shit out of them.
Yeah.
I'll cook them on low for so long, just to
Yeah.
let all the flavor just get in the. Strain them out. I don't rinse them. Yeah, don't do that.
No, that
People
keep-
listening, because
yeah,
they're already
yeah.
in water. Don't rinse them. You
Yeah,
rinse
yeah.
off all the flavor.
Yep.
So then, do better rice, green beans, some chicken Alfredo on top. I know it sounds insane, dude. It's actually
You know what?
really
Honestly,
fucking
it sounds like a good like kind of flavor profile
Yeah.
going on. You know, I'd try that for sure.
because the green beans more just add to the flavor of like the noodle because they eat kind of the same.
Yeah. Sure.
like the mouthfeel.
And it's a little tinge of
Sure.
of grain in
yeah,
there.
little
But
bit.
with-
And dude,
yeah.
we eat it probably once a month.
Yeah.
And then we like to experiment with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm getting into the cooking.
My next
kinda
one I
deal.
want to do for as far as like eating like shit is bacon wrapped pizza pillows. So I know people call them pizza rolls. I call them pizza pillows because they look like
They look,
Yeah,
they
they
look
do.
more like pillows.
That
Yeah.
shit sounds bomb.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah,
the,
bake
only,
that shit up.
the only thing I'm worried about is I'm going to have to find the right thickness of bacon because the cook times are different.
Yes.
So, you set it to whatever temperature in the oven, then you have to find that thickness of bacon that'll cook at the same time as the pizza
Yeah.
thing. That's
Or the right temperature so that they evenly.
exactly.
That's the
So
jam.
like I want to like get like 3 different bacons and just have some
Try
pizza
'em
and
out.
make like 3
Or-
at a time.
Yeah.
wrap them, toothpick them, deep fry them. Because
I thought about that too.
Deep fry.
Yeah.
It's quick. I thought about that too, but I don't know if I want the bacon that crispy. Like that's my thing. I'm just like I'll try all the versions.
I gotcha.
Also add Parmesan cheese to that shit. Oh,
Parmesan cheese just makes almost everything better.
that
Like-
sawdust stuff. You can't get the real stuff.
I don't
for that.
like
You gotta eat
the sawdust.
Yeah?
I don't like the
I
sawdust
can
Parmesan
get down.
cheese.
I can get down on sawdust, but I get down on some fancy cheese.
Y'all know that's real, right?
I
They
know
found those
it's-
companies using sawdust as filler in that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
See, I don't like those ones. I like the real Parmesan.
The real
though.
Parmesan.
Parmesan. Oh, that shit
Dank.
is so
Yeah.
bomb.
Do people still say dank? I don't think they do.
Ironically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though-
I'm just old.
But it's all right, man.
He's my go-to for all the kids
It's all
playing
right,
these
man.
days.
Yeah. I mean, shit.
I'm almost as old as you are, older than you.
Yeah, right?
Shit. How old are you?
35, almost 36.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you're
Damn.
close to like my mom's age. She's like 30.
Oh.
She's 39.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was 20 when she had me, so like almost. I mean,
That's early.
Almost
Yeah,
there.
my mom
She's
was
gonna
19.
be so mad at you. Your mom,
Why?
Your mom
No.
is not a day over 31.
No,
Let's
look.
be real.
If you look at her, you will not think she's 39. My mom's beautiful. My mom has aged like fine wine.
She is not an age
That
over
chick-
31.
That chick looks
Dorothy
amazing.
Mantooth is a saint.
Keep your liver spotted hands on my mother. She is a saint. I love that fucking movie.
Damn it.
Oh, she's great. She's beautiful. Love you, Mom.
Yeah, she is pretty fantastic.
Well, I've never met her. She sounds lovely.
She's a great woman. She's
got a pretty awesome kid.
Yeah.
Hey,
Can't be
thank
too
you.
much of a
Yeah.
shitty person.
Thank you.
How
Thank you.
I met him, through his mother.
Yep.
That's how he came about.
I didn't really. He asked me to dog sit his dogs, and
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then second day I was there dog sitting, he was like, "Yo, you want to come do this podcast thing?" And I was like,
Yo, by the way,
Fuck yeah.
you seem to think like you can do this.
"Yeah." He's like, we need a producer, and I'm like,
Shout out to this
Fuck it.
fucking room too.
"Thank
Oh,
you, man."
thanks.
Walking in here was like,
Thank you,
yo.
And most of it, like 90% of it's not for the cameras. Like we just want to vibe.
Yeah,
you
we're
know?
just
Oh,
trying
you
to
have
vibe.
to create a vibe.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
I have no cameras in my rooms. All
Yeah,
vibe.
exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
vibe is great.
Yeah, I love it.
It's like when you walk in, you're like, oh, it's like all music and movies.
Yeah,
all
it's
around
just
you.
chill.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I am.
that table's sick.
I could
too,
say it
dude.
on here. Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that table.
That
It took
table
me
is rad.
3 days to build that bitch.
It was worth
The
it.
It weighs like
That
300
fucking
pounds.
pattern
Yes.
is
Yeah.
fucking fantastic.
It's like it's a split chevron is what it is, and there's so you couldn't see under the table, but there's spines going down the table, which also act as like handles, and those big ass feet are actually 2 2x4s sandwiched together with pallet lumber wrapping around it. That shit took so long,
I
dude.
love it,
They're like
though,
glued
dude.
and screwed and bolted,
yeah.
and that thing is a beast.
I love
Yeah.
it.
They were like, "What if it doesn't sit even?" I was like, "It weighs 3 times what you do.
Yeah.
It's gonna sit
Yeah.
just fine."
It's gonna settle and be
And
just
that,
fine.
Yeah, that and like in the rest of your room, it doesn't take up too much space. It's like perfect like placement. I love that. I love
It took
that
a couple
table.
different versions too. Like that room looked different 3 times. That's the
Yeah.
third version.
Yeah.
So you guys saw the final version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because we're talking about getting out of our space as
Oh
well.
yeah. By the way, we did an episode of Crash Cast.
It's coming out soon.
It's coming out.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I don't have an actual release date yet. I'm actually Kurt's messaging me right now about we have a monthly meeting we do, and then we're gonna place everything. And
This will be from. We gotta stay so far ahead because of my stupid
Right.
schedule.
Yeah.
This will, by the time this comes out, it may already be out.
Yeah.
It may or may not.
So yeah, go
I'm
check
trying
out
to get it
Crash
out in
Cast.
November.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Oh
to
yeah,
get it out in the
it'll
next
be
couple
out.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be-
if it's out in November, it'll
this
be
will
out
be
before
close
this
to the
episode.
end. But yeah, so yeah, it'll be perfect.
So yeah, go check out Crash Cast. If we're on there, listen to us. If we're not, listen to him.
No, check out the other one. You've got some killer bands that have been on your
for sure.
show.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you've had some killer shows, and
Yeah,
you've been doing it for how long now?
So June was a year.
Okay.
So year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like I really did fall ass backwards into something people wanted.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew what they wanted. I don't think I knew. I definitely didn't fucking know because I was just like, it was for fun. And I'm having fun. I'm still having fun. I'm leaving here and going and doing one right after this. You know?
Yeah.
And with a person I've never met in my whole life.
That's the fun of it, though.
Yeah.
Really, man.
But they're in a band, in a genre that I'm not really accustomed to. So it's like, if you want to help everyone, you have to have everyone.
Yeah,
You
for
know what I'm
sure.
saying? And
Absolutely.
we've had local business owners on, artists. I'm talking to a jeweler. And then things I can't say, like we have some really big yeses.
Yeah.
The power of the ask is what this podcast has taught me the most.
I've found that there's not many people that are like, nah.
yeah.
I've had a couple, but really because they're more afraid of the environment. But once you get them down, man, if you're just talk to them like a person and don't make it like this. So, what do you do on the weekend?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
okay. Well, what do you do for fun?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I try
You're
to
not-
describe it as we're just hanging out.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're just buddies, having a good time.
That's why I like them
getting
so
to know
much.
each other.
Dude, I listen to a bunch, and almost every podcast I listen to, I'll be driving, because I drive a lot for my work, and I'll be talking back. I'm the only one in the fucking car.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I look like an insane person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you know, that's I really enjoyed the episode that we did on Crash Cast because like right when we set foot in there, never met you in my fucking life, and it
Right.
was just instant. Like
Yeah.
you know, It's just.
It clicked. It was good vibes too.
Yeah,
That episode's great. I can't wait for it to come
It's a
out.
good time.
Yeah.
I've been holding on to it because I'm like, fuck, I don't know where to put it because I booked just kind of like you guys. I booked so far out. I'm just like, shit, I don't really know what to do with this. So I'm trying to find the right spot because even that, there's some podcasters coming out from here that are just killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? And they're all fun and they're all great to listen to. I listen to a litany of local podcasters when I can. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
You got to get through the big boys and then, and I listen to podcasts almost exclusively now. Like I'm trying to be, this is going to sound convoluted as fuck, but I'm trying to be more original in my approach to how I write. So I'm trying to empty my head of all the other things.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, 3 of my favorite bands put out albums this year, and I've listened to them once.
Yeah.
Just to be like, yo, that album's dope, great, but I don't want to be like influenced by it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, shit, why wouldn't you want to be original, you know? Why wouldn't you want to change your style up?
Well, it's
hard, and they're always going to be influences.
Of course.
Everybody influences everybody.
Yeah,
there's a double-edged sword
know,
with the whole
Like,
thing,
me
right?
and you could go outside and jam on guitar, and I could watch you do something I've never seen and be like, fuck, like, damn, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Right.
you know?
Right.
And now I'm to the age where, like, can I have that? Like, can I do that too? You know?
Yeah.
Well,
Used to, it was
There's
just
no
like-
there's no problem with that at all. I don't think. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, you know.
and it's hard to be original, man. I mean, how many original bands are there?
How much music is out there, dude? How do you
Infinite.
can you think you can be original with like
You can.
So,
You can,
it's
but
hard, dude.
what it takes is a person who is so unique. They're the writer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No like intervention from anybody.
even my band, I can say it because it's basically public knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But after this album comes out, we're restructuring the way we write songs. So every My Hands to War song you ever heard was basically written by Justin and adjusted by the band.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote the whole song and then we adjusted the parts we wanted to. But after this album comes out, this is the last album that you're going to get that's all Justin.
Yeah.
Everything past this point is going to be all of us. So our sound's going to change for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know? And I think it's just more important. The older I get, the more I would just want to be like, not involved or controlling, but just like, I want to feel more attached to
Yeah.
what it is we have.
Well, I mean, there's bands who have done that and made themselves better. Brand New is a great example.
True.
Jesse Lacey, the first 2 albums they did, he solely wrote all of that. And after that, the rest of the band started having a lot more input, and look at what happened to them, you know? Their
For
sound dramatically changed
Well,
for the better.
It's crazy because like even solo artists, you know, just the way they mature and grow, you know, their sound changes exponentially, dude, like crazy.
That too.
Like my favorite artist ever, Frank Ocean, his first album, your studio album, Channel Orange, was like this soul kind of, you know, R&B storytelling kind of album, but then his next album was Blonde, and it was just like really weird, well, compared to Channel Orange, like spacey, very emotional, like just different shit. And now he's coming out with a new album that's a whole different vibe. So
I think
it's
Bryce was
the
like
way
that.
the way people grow and change,
Yeah.
and it's
Well, I think
great.
it's
I
a
love it.
lot easier. I think it's a lot easier to do that as a solo artist because you can feel your own
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
true. That's true.
Whereas with a band, you have to share
Mm-hmm.
the vibe.
You should.
You should.
Now, if they don't want to and they're just hired guns and they understand that, cool. But
mean, that's a different thing,
respectively
though.
speaking, yeah.
That's a different.
Because then at that point you're more like a solo
Well,
artist than a.
but that's at the same time, like, to be a little selfish, that's why I love podcasting.
yeah.
Because every podcast, even if it's about music, is different.
Yeah.
The vibe is different. The person who I hate to say interview because I don't think of it, too much like an interview. So much as just, two friends
chilling.
get.
It's a
like,
hangout.
The night we did ours, it's like, yeah, it is an interview because I've never met you guys ever. And then all of a sudden you're in my house. But at the same time, it was just, you're getting not only a look at, it's just how two people meet.
Yeah.
That was more of a friendship building conversation.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah,
Than
dude.
anything, like-
there was
Exactly.
really barely any like interview because it's just a conversation, man. You
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
and that's
like
what that's
this?
what builds.
It's getting to
people.
know each other just like anything else.
back and
Exactly.
forth, see the
But-
chemistry and everything. It's great.
Even people that I know that come in here and we do a podcast, I learned so much
Yeah.
talking to people that I've known for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. It's always so weird. I have a friend, Tommy, and he was in this band a long time ago. And we came up together. So they would call that like your peers, the people who you came up with. And I was always like inspired by him early on because his band was so fucking good. It just didn't make sense how good they were. And I had him on the podcast and we were talking about that. And he was just like, that's so weird. Like, And I was like, it is weird. It's weird for me. We're friends. We have been friends for 15 years. But it doesn't change the fact that I was like inspired by you to do something better.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at what I'm doing going, no, this ain't it.
Yeah.
This is it. You know?
Yeah. You know, and like even with this podcast, like Same Old Devils, I didn't know Randy at all, you know, and we started doing the podcast and just the conversation and chemistry building and all this shit, like it's like second nature now, you know, like if we never did this, I probably never would know Randy. You know?
Right.
Yeah,
like I just be the dog sitter. You know?
It'd be Deidre's son.
Yeah, exactly. Right, but you know,
Then I'm gonna go out back and take a shit.
Yeah. It's cool. I like the format and meeting new people. It's great.
It is great, and it's a great way to just kind of like, you know, honestly, not change anything, but it's just a great way to hear the other side of the any coin.
Yeah,
politics, whatever. You know, film, whatever. You get these perspectives, and it gives you just like a more genuine, approach to someone. Like, you know, people might listen to this and be like, "This guy sounds all right," or some people might think I'm an asshole. It's just like, you know, and that's great.
Yeah, it's all subjective.
It's all subjective, and I love that, man. I love that. I love that it is subjective, and that you get to long form play out that subjectivity. Like, this isn't a fucking 15-second soundbite. This is 3 hours of a conversation with somebody.
Right.
Well, that's what it takes to get to know someone. Sitting down, you have minimal distractions, and you're just talking.
Yeah. Almost no distractions, other than like, you know, Googling shit, or you forgot to put your phone on the thing, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Prince.
Prince
on the phone. That's great.
Yeah, he'll get you.
He's a big distraction.
He is a big distraction. He gets me from time to time. It's that patch of chest hair, you know?
Yeah.
It really puts it in perspective.
Chest
So
pubes
sensual.
down to my ball fro.
I'm feeling the mustache, you know. The mustache,
man is
the taint tickler,
iconic.
You know? Yeah. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Another one.
Yeah.
God, man, fentanyl, dude.
I know, man. It'll fuck you up.
Ugh, that's a whole can of
Stay away
worms,
from
man.
that.
Jesus.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah.
That's just fucking depressing.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
But you know.
I've never had it, but I've heard that from the people that I know personally that have that it's really not that great.
No, of course not.
So
yeah,
I don't understand.
Well, because
the big hubbub.
people whenever they get shit, they don't expect that they're buying fentanyl. You know, they think they're buying some other opiate.
I mean,
and
like,
then it's laced with fentanyl, and then they get fucked up over it.
Well, I mean, you've had that since
for
the
sure.
80s,
Yeah.
shit laced
I'm
with
not.
shit.
I'm not saying that
but
it's not a new thing.
Even just people I'm saying just fentanyl in general. Hey, here's some fentanyl from like the hospital.
Right.
Like not that great of a high.
Yeah.
No, but super deadly.
But
Probably
apparently,
shouldn't be a thing.
like that's
dude.
a dangerous jam.
It
Opiates,
takes, like-
I guess, are.
Opiates are fucked up.
I mean,
dude.
those
It
are
takes like
dangerous in
nothing, man.
Yeah.
It takes nothing. There was a woman who got caught with some hiding in her body. Well, I think we can all draw our own conclusions, but
yeah.
Sure.
it was enough to kill 3 million people.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's-
dude.
3 million.
That's not
That's
smart.
a lot of fucking
It's-
fentanyl.
what the fuck? Anyway,
I feel like if you've got
So-
that much, you're hiding it
Yeah.
in yourself, you're making a
in
mistake.
your jail purse? You know.
do y'all have any like future goals for this thing? I mean, I know like a new space. You know,
A new space would be fantastic.
what would that
it's
entail?
It's just a little
like,
tight in
is
here.
it just size?
That,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's really my
cramped.
biggest thing is the size of this room.
Yeah.
We started when I first started putting this studio together. For one, I got to get it out of my house. My girlfriend is pretty like, that's enough. Quit bringing strangers to my house. I'm
I'd
like,
like to
okay,
get mine out of my house too, and my wife's not
Yeah.
like that. But it's just like it's just, you know, it's still a stranger at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
Until you are a friend, because one day. The real fear is like one day there's gonna be a dick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, or an asshole, and then I'm gonna have to. Something's gonna happen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to vet this person. You got to
Yeah.
like. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts.
right?
My girlfriend, she does some like camming and like shit like that
Sure,
too.
sure.
So like you get the wrong shit, like
Yeah,
bad things happen.
Yeah.
So got to get it out of my house for one.
Right.
I started putting it in this other guest room. This was my guest room, and then we had it in one of the other rooms here. But it's a bit smaller
Oh,
because I
shit.
wanted like if someone's gonna come here and chill for a couple days, like have the bigger room. But
right.
once I started putting it together, I was like, oh fuck, I
Yeah.
can't even walk in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to go to this one, and even it's not big enough. I don't
Yeah.
think.
I love the space, but
it's-
it needs more room.
The only thing really is the, you know, if you had like some wall mounted cameras or, You know, it's like you have things. It's more the things
Sure.
than the space. I feel like if I'm just vibing it out for myself.
Here's the problem with that though. Like really everyone that we have roll through here is different. We have to
We have to
really.
adjust
I mean, you
the
saw
cameras a
we have to
lot,
set up
yeah.
everything
Right.
basically from scratch from the
scratch.
beginning.
Well, one thing y'all could do for that is overhead.
Overhead.
That's
yeah.
why you see in like big production studios, everything goes above. They
We did
make
have
these.
a-
They actually make a light box you can attach to that.
Yeah.
That you just change the light bulbs out. You take that titty off of there, and it spreads the light
Yeah.
across the. That's a pro lighting tip.
Yeah.
Like these spotlights are great. Don't get me wrong, and they're really great for especially like straight on, because you
Sure.
can just kind of set it and forget it.
Sure.
But
They're very finicky.
yeah, a little.
with the
they
cameras
are
especially.
Yeah.
We did have an overview shot, but like it was like back here, like in kind of the corner, and it didn't work as well.
Well, we also once when Anjali was part of the show, she and I would share a camera, and she's so dark and I'm so light that
So the
I would either
balance.
be washed out or she would be too dark. So we went to single cameras, and then that has just taken up even more room.
Yeah.
Everything just turned into a whole thing.
And
you know.
the more they progress, the crazier they become. Even mine, who's not, I'm not even fucking with film yet, and it's like, how can I get it? You know, this much better and this much better. And
Yeah, it turns into a whole bigger production with the cameras.
Yeah.
The cameras are honestly, I love it. I love the visual. I would, like me when I'm listening to podcasts. If I'm on the go, that's great. But I love when I have the time to sit and watch it.
Yeah.
Because the people's facial expressions, the way people
It's
talk
more
with their
in
hands, the
context.
visual,
Yeah,
everything is
yeah.
more. You feel like you're there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel that.
And I like bringing that aspect to it, but it is much more of a production with it.
I'm just like this is amazing. You know, the camera here. Hello.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just like, I've thought of 1,000 ways. Like that table's so neat, so I'm like, let's do an overhead.
Sure.
Like hang a GoPro from the fucking ceiling because that table's so cool. Like give people like a visual of what it really looks like.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, nobody's gonna sit and watch an overhead view for 2 hours. So then I'm thinking like, well, what if I did a 360 camera right in the middle of the table? Because you know when you put those on YouTube, it just stretches it out to one long shot.
Yeah.
And then you can just see everyone. But then I was like, well, but then it's going to seem like we're sitting next to each other, just talking into thin air.
Yeah.
So it's just like, this really is the best format.
That's
the
why I have
spot shot.
a production guy hot
Right.
swapping our cameras.
Shout out to him.
Yeah,
Shout out to my
bro.
production.
Yeah, dude. Best button pusher in the South,
That's
man.
me,
it.
boy.
That's it.
I've been training these fingers for years.
Yeah.
That was for
does,
something
It
else,
does
though.
become a production though.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
But I like it. I think it's a.
Well, and more production costs more money, too, because people don't understand, like, you pay for the hosting of this.
I mean, yeah.
And when you add film, I know on my site the price doubles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The and just buying the equipment.
Yeah.
I think honestly, as many cameras as I have was the most expensive part of this whole.
Yeah, because are those Canons?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not the best ones that you can get, but they're far from the lowest.
They're still
I
good.
mean,
Still good.
But I like it. I like
They're
it. I
fantastic.
still want to eventually get back to a good overhead shot for shows. We did a show a little while back with my buddy David Griffin, who makes knives.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of my favorite shows, just because I was just so interested in
Learned
what
so
he does.
much. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I always have a knife around or on me or something, and he's made a couple for me. And just with him bringing his knives and showing them, we did set up an overview specifically for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, so
But
you
also-
can, like, show it in the camera or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
like he's got them
Nice.
laid out on the table, and then he's swapping to those and back and forth, and it worked out well. But I'd like to get one as well to get a good overview shot of more of this,
Yeah.
instead
Right.
of just you and then me and then
Right.
back and forth and back the internet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
But-
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, it works. It's always a work in progress. We've come. I mean, strides from where we first started.
Shit,
The
yes.
first 3 episodos we tried to also do live,
Yeah, that
which was a
rough.
huge
Yeah.
mistake.
That was rough.
It didn't work out well. Definitely
That's why everyone's
sacrificing
moved away from
shit.
it.
Yeah,
It's hard to
Because
find a live
It's
podcast
so much.
now.
It's
not
so
worth
much
it.
hassle for nothing.
For
Yeah.
nothing.
For
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
especially when this small. What are you gonna get?
Yeah.
3, 5,
If
8
that,
views.
you're not going to get any audience interaction. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, if you're bigger, and I mean, I get it, you know, because then you can have people like sending questions and like
But are
shit
they?
like that. But
are they? You know,
Exactly.
At the same time.
Well,
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
even then, when you're at that size that you have a big enough audience that they're sending questions, fuck them. Like,
Yeah, what do you
almost
need 'em
most of
for?
it's nonsense
What do you
anyway.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and most of those people have teams of people scouring all their shit and just
right.
like, this one guy that got another, you know, he made a funny thing here,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else is just, they
Yeah.
never
There's really
saw it.
no point to it.
Yeah, it's
I agree.
drops in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I don't
hard
have
to-
time to sift through that.
Exactly, and it's hard to come up with just all the, you have to stay so current, new ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Trying this thing, like I try different mixing techniques sometimes. Like I'll see something on a YouTube video and be like, oh shit, I'll try that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You know, just to round out the volume or the vocal, how it comes out. I've always found that like female vocals and the way male vocal dynamics work, it's fun to like see where those go and like turn on the analyzer, and I get real nerdy.
Just in the past, I think 8 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
9 episodes, we added an audio interface.
Mm-hmm.
We were going directly into our mixer into
Oh, no
the Mac
shit?
to record.
Oh wow.
And that made a
It's
significant
all the difference. Every
Like,
time anyone asks me what should I get first, I'm like a fucking interface.
interface.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
Like
Square one, get a good interface, and then that's growing pains.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
learned the
You
hard
learn.
way.
That's how you learn, man.
Is there any that you've learned that just really made a huge difference from when you started?
Well, mic quality, like y'all have some beautiful.
Sure.
Clearly, y'all are using like the best shit, but mic quality counts. A fucking $8 mic's gonna sound like an $8 mic.
Of course.
Exactly.
You get what you pay for.
I
wanna-
learned that the hard way.
Mhm.
I was doing, before I had even dreamt of doing this, I did a couple episodes with a buddy of mine over Skype who lived in Illinois at the time. I did his podcast. Shout out to John, Random Ass
John,
Radio.
love you. We did an
Fucking
episode with him
fantastic.
too.
Yeah,
it was
we
great.
got an episode with him that you guys should check out. Anyway, I did it with one of those little snowball mics.
Yup.
Sounded like dog
Garbage.
shit.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are garbage.
Um,
And I get
Snowball
you get
mic.
what you can afford.
you
Mm-hmm.
do, you do. Or
but
what
there's also
matters.
jumping the shark too. It's like just save. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you can afford this $50 snowball mic.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a month.
Yeah.
Now you can afford $100 mic, and
Mhm.
if really you should be spending. You know, actually, Rode here for all the listeners. Rode just made a mic that's comparable to this. That's
Really?
only $100.
Damn.
Everything's built right in. It's called the Procaster, and it's made just for podcasting.
Wow. all
Rode
right.
Procaster?
Procaster.
They did it
Procaster,
on
let's see.
purpose. That was their whole design for it, and now they're finding out that they're actually really good on guitar amps. So
Ooh, even
now
better.
a bunch of studios are buying them up too. Dude, my buddy bought 2 of them and had to wait 6 months. That's how many of them they're selling.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because like with this mic, you have to have like a cloud lifter
Yeah.
if you're going to do it right. And don't get me wrong, the vocal response on this thing is stupid, and the Procaster is nowhere near what this is going to be. Oh, maybe it's the Rode Podcaster. It's not that one. It's a little bitty version of it. Go to their like products thing. Go to microphones. Microphones.
Oh shit.
You're fired.
Yeah. Video and on camera or live.
No. Just go to, what does it say? Studio?
I'm thinking. There's
Zoom in just a
studio-
bit. Zoom in just a bit. There you go.
Yeah, it's a little laggy right now. There's studio, video on camera, live, and mobile.
Try the video on camera.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, that seems like more like what's going to go on
Oh
top of
my
your camera.
God.
Yeah, that's more for like,
Oh, yeah.
that's
yeah.
more for like
Mhm.
nature shit.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
just being outside in general. Go to
maybe
studio.
Yeah,
Because
try
I
the
mean,
studio
yeah.
then.
you have a podcast studio.
Pod
right there.
mic, pod mic.
Pod mic. That's it.
Ah,
It's
okay.
$99.
It's even set up for
Damn.
like that
Yeah.
same. Okay.
And they built
That's
it,
nice.
and so you see how that does. So you see the top of the tube there, and it's designed just like this microphone, where it's there's a distance between your voice and the capsule.
Right.
Yep.
And this has the condom on the outside, where that one's on the inside.
Sure.
What?
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's basically set up dynamically, just like this microphone. And when it goes through all that stuff and hits the sensor, you have a lot less like at my house, I had to have the windscreen
Yeah,
and the pop
screen,
filter
Yeah.
to control the pa-ca-cha stuff, and which is a huge issue. And like when it's always the worst when someone has like a SM58 and you can hear like the and then they're talking there's no like, I call them condoms. They're just little mini windscreens is all they are.
Yeah,
that's it.
Especially at least do that.
Yeah.
Just fucking please.
Yeah.
They're like $1.
Get a pop filter, get some fucking socks and put it on there, something.
Yeah. Pantyhose works great too as a pop filter. But take a little hanger, wrap some pantyhose around it. Boom. Because if it's not televised, who gives a shit what it looks like?
Yeah, really.
That's kind of like my room. It's like it looks so good, but no one's ever seen it.
Hey, it is exactly. It's all vibes.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
But again, it's vibes. But that little guy right there, I'm actually thinking about buying for the whole table.
Yeah.
Just to, up the sound quality. I think microphones are hands down, and you have to use an interface. And Focusrite, man, you can get a 2i2.
That's who I've got. Focusrite. I've got the Scarlett.
I got the Scarlett Focusrite 40 Pro Pre. It's a mouthful of fucking letters. Numbers, but and even if you just get the regular Scarlett, like 4i4 or the 8i8, like the I brands,
the little guy.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah,
they use like Midas preamps in there. Like they sound phenomenal, and you just run it. I mean, you can use fucking GarageBand if you want to, but that having to separate each channel and being able to work on each channel, because even in this room I've been like here and now I'm back here and then I've been over here, but being able to compress that channel to where it all sounds the same level regardless of the distance I've been, brilliant. Especially over the one track. So you can do as much as you can with a mixer, don't get me wrong, but like at the end of the day, having every strip is just...
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. It is the difference between ones where you're like, well, I could hear two of them, but the third guy sounded like he was a mile away. It's like, well, because he's sitting on a couch and they're using one microphone and they're talking at it, and the other two guys are louder.
Yeah, there were some episodes where it was definitely the sound was a little quieter, or like but since the interface, it's been beautiful.
Because you can fix everything.
Yeah,
it's been so great. It's been fantastic.
After the fact is a huge deal, especially for podcasting that I've found. And like another one is just, if you're wanting to start a podcast, this is just good advice. When your guest comes in, if they've clearly never done it, just go over mic dynamics with them.
Yeah.
Like don't just, you can't, hey guys, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. I'm talking like this. You about a fist away ish.
Yep.
And just speak in your normal talking voice.
And we, we'll bring people in. We'll be like, all right, whenever you come, make sure you're like close to the mic, because if you're...
Felix has a spiel.
Yes.
Right, yeah,
he gives him a spiel.
Yeah, I'm like, look, listen here, bucko.
I would have gave you guys the spiel, but I figured having your own, it's I don't have to explain shit.
You better get in that fucking mic. You got to gobble that shit, okay? You need to be in it. Yeah. And they're like, okay, and then they'll be like, hey, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, please be closer.
My favorite one is when they get serious and then they, man,
like
the
whisper talk.
Yeah, whisper talking. Like, shit. And I'm just sitting there like, you can't be a dick.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, man, do you mind just talking?
Yeah, I try to be like real cool and be like, hey, make sure you're close to the mic, Not like, just something like real quick, like, hey, make sure, you get a little closer to the mic. We're not hearing you too well.
You're like a non-threatening person, and then a 6'2"
fucking
right.
I mean, that's true too.
It's like, hey man, can you talk into the mic a little more? They're like, well, you're a fucking asshole. It's like, I'm just asking a question.
Like you just pull out your handgun and like talking to the mic.
What I say earlier.
I'm not on camera right now. You better talk into your fucking mic. Or there's going to be issues.
I can edit this shit.
Guess what part's not making it?
Sorry for the short cut there. We had a little issue here with the sound quality.
So have y'all ever had to cut anything? I'm sure you have.
Yes.
Okay.
One time.
People fuck up and say things they're not supposed to.
We haven't had to cut, but we did have to edit. One like serious edit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was because we had Howard, who I work with at the tattoo studio on. And his wife Liz was coming to join us in the middle of a podcast, and it had been a while since she had been over here. So he was like, she was texting him, and then he was like, "So what's the address?" And then said it.
Yeah, he said it
And I'm
on
like,
the show.
Nice.
Like, you just fucking call me out, like, right here in the middle of a fucking show. It's
Oh, Howard.
I only had to do one, and it was the same thing. I can't even say what it was because it's still top secret. But the person is under contract to not say things, and then he accidentally said something, and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was just looking around the room, like, there was, like, this awkward pause, so I had to go and... I actually fixed it pretty cleverly, I thought. Like, in the audio, you can't... I know where it's at because I was in the fucking room.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you listen, you'd never find the cut.
Yeah.
Like, it's so spot on. What I did was I traced back to what he said, and I went to the last thing that was said. And then I found the next comparable answer that would match up to that, and I just squished the two together. Yeah, so it seemed like it just was like, that was the response.
Nice.
That's a tricky way of doing it for sure.
There you go.
It's a little tougher with the video. We just did the edited beep.
Did you? Yeah.
And then like, so it's him like, what's the address? Beep, and then it's be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're all like, what the fuck?
That actually works though.
Yeah, I think that makes it kind of more like funny, you know, where it's like
it's cartoony.
Yeah, exactly. It's very slapstick. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
It worked out though. But anytime anyone's like, I probably shouldn't be saying this, I'm like, then don't fucking say it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. We'll talk about this after the show, man.
And we kind of talk about it beforehand, and we're like, yo, is there anything that you don't want us to bring up, or like,
yeah, especially someone that I don't know well.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, dude, I've had people tell me that, and then they'll just start talking about it because they get comfortable.
Yeah,
and they're like, okay, I thought this was a different thing because they have the, like, preconceived notion of how it's going to be.
Yeah,
and then it's not, and it's fun, and they're like, oh fuck, man, okay, we can talk about it. Yeah, that happens.
It's I like it whenever we get a new person in that we don't know, and they just get super comfortable, and like we can get weird. You know?
I mean, we do like that. Yeah. I mean,
let's get weird. Let's get weird.
Let's get weird.
Then.
You know.
Fuck it.
No. Oh, let's get weird.
Before you guys start getting crazy, I've got to piss so bad. I've been doing the pee-pee dance for a half hour here.
It's the podcast effect.
The coffee, the beer.
We'll get weird. We'll get weird.
I'll be back.
All right. Weird. I remember you don't like the ocean.
Nope.
Yeah. So what's the scariest thing you've seen in the ocean? Or not that you've seen in the ocean, but like on film or anything.
Dude. Oh, so really it just like the creature, like you see shit, you hear shit, and then they're like, oh, that's old wives, like giant squids. We thought that was like legend.
They found that shit.
Oh, no, that's real.
Yep, they found that shit.
So if that's real, is the Kraken real? If that's real, is the Megalodon real?
I don't know.
Because we know more about space than we know about our own ass.
There's a
ocean,
lot of fucking ocean.
What have we covered? Like 0.5%,
if that, dude. Like that shit. That shit is so vast, so massive, and so deep. Like,
fuck the ocean. I'm laughing because I'm nervous. Fuck that place.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I totally understand, dude. I get it. Like,
I swear to God, if the shit pops off and like global warming or whatever the fuck it is, it comes and it's coming for us all. I'm fucking out. I'm going my own way.
The ocean's coming to us.
If the tide makes it to Arkansas,
holy fuck,
and it's coming at me.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
No, I'm
that'd
going
be awful.
out on my own.
I think I'd rather shoot myself in the head than drown.
Fuck
for
that.
sure.
Yep.
Because like drowning is such a process.
Yeah, dude.
You know, a scary process.
They say it's scary until you take the breath, and then they say it's euphoric.
And then you're like numb.
Yeah.
And like
because everything just shuts down and you visually see it. But then my luck is I'll visually be like euphoric, like wow, and then a great white will just bite.
Dude. Yo. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm cool with the ocean. Fuck sharks. That shit's scary.
Fuck whales. They could swallow you whole and not even know it.
I'm cool with whales though. They're majestic.
No, they are. Yeah, on tape.
Yeah, on tape. Yeah. I was in Florida one time, and we went to this pier, like some fucking where in Florida. I don't even know if it was the ocean or if it was like a lake or whatever.
Lake.
But there were manatees in there. And, like, there were these manatees, like, pushing around what looked to be, like, a dead manatee, right?
Oh.
Well, turns out this guy who lives there, and he sees these things all the time, and he's like, no, actually, all those manatees that are pushing around that looks to be like a dead manatee, those are all male manatees. And the one who looks dead is the female. And she's trying to tell them, like, yo, I'm not trying to fuck, you know? Like, I don't want to mate right now. So she's playing dead while all these male manatees push her around up
No.
out of the water and shit.
And I'm
Crazy.
fat, bro. I don't want to be mistaken.
Crazy shit. You could
Yo.
jump in the water and they'd be like, "Yo, you
Yeah.
trying to make some manatee babies? You trying to make some manatee
Yeah, no,
babies?
I'm
What's
not.
up?"
Did you guys talk about dolphins though?
Dolphins,
The rapers?
yo,
No,
dolphins are
dolphins.
straight rapists.
They're
Like,
rapists and they're
crazy.
incredibly intelligent.
Yes.
It's disgusting.
Did you know that they fuck upside down?
They do.
what,
Yeah, they go
Yeah.
parallel, and then they'll swim through the water
Wow.
parallel while they're fucking.
Yeah.
dude? That's wild.
I've seen that happen.
Wow, dude, dolphin
was like-
vaginas look like strangely human.
That's
Have you ever
what
seen one?
Somebody was saying to
I'm not
me.
gonna put it up on the podcast, but I'll pull it up
I
for
want
you.
to see this.
I'll pull
Yeah,
it up for you, but I'm
please
not
pull
gonna put
this
it
up.
on.
Yeah,
Podcast.
somebody was telling me that because it was Buddy from Death Metal Dicks. So somebody sent him someone fucking a dolphin.
What?
Somebody fucking a
What?
dolphin?
Yeah.
Wow.
I ain't with it, bro.
Come on.
Oh my god, we're getting on a
That's-
fucking list, man.
We're getting weird.
Let's see.
Y'all did say it. I said let's go for it. Yep.
We went straight dolphin vagina on the beat.
There you
So
go.
like no, there was a picture that I'm thinking of that's not showing up, and it must have been edited then because
If you isolate that, I guess I could see, but I'm not sold.
I need.
Oh,
I
there's
need,
one. Jeez.
Ooh, give me some of that. Zoom in there.
You hungry or what, boys?
I mean,
If you're
Yeah,
interested,
close.
Okay.
If you're interested, look up dolphin vagina.
Okay.
They're
What about the other side?
look, it's got a clit.
What's the dick look like?
like a hook.
Oh, yeah. All animal dicks look like they hook.
They're all weird.
They hook
Yeah.
in so their
It's
mate
because they
can't
have
run
fucked
away.
up bodies.
Oh, that's
It's 'cause
what
they
that is
rape
right there. There's
people.
the hook.
It's
Yeah.
all animal sex. Well, most of animal sex is rape.
Yeah.
So
well,
like,
yeah, that's true.
It's
so
real grabby.
The whole reason that there's hooks on like penises and stuff is so that they can't get
get
away.
away.
Cats
yeah.
with the
Cats.
barbs.
Yeah, cats
Barbs.
get
Yeah.
barbs. That's fucking crazy.
Have you ever seen a turtle dick?
Yeah.
dude?
Those things are
Have
terrifying.
you seen the video?
What?
It's that video of the
Fuck the
turtle
internet.
like coming
You know
on
what-
the ground. That shit is
what the
insane,
fuck?
dude. This turtle comes like a gallon, bro. I'm talking like crazy
Wow.
shit.
When we decided to get weird, we got fucking weird.
Yes. Yes.
The internet fucking sucks because you told me, have you ever seen a turtle dick? I should not have been able to say yes.
Yeah.
There's,
Damn it.
Well, but hey, knowledge is power, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the?
I know what all the species of wieners look like.
I've seen so many dicks.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Mr. Hands video?
What?
Mr.
hope
Hands. I'm not gonna pull it up.
Yeah.
Mr. Hands was a man that got fucked by a horse in his butt and
Oh,
he
Heard
died.
about that. Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
I heard about the
That
Mr.
video
Hands
was-
That
Crazy.
also that was not his first horse fucking.
Nope.
That was just the one that did him in.
But it's one too many.
Well,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to say you had it coming, but
He did have it coming, literally.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the karma, man. Karma's real.
Karma.
What goes
I mean,
around comes around.
you want to fuck what you want to fuck.
I mean,
don't
hey,
know,
do
man.
you,
I don't know where
G?
I stay. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm kind of like, as long as you're not fucking with me, I don't know if I care enough.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yo, that shit's gonna kill you. That's real.
I mean, hey, if
you're
that's
gonna
what
die.
that was probably the most sexual pleasure he's ever had, like ever. You know,
It's too much.
it's too much. It's too much.
I'm regular, man. I'm vanilla.
I'm pretty vanilla.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
pretty
pretty
vanilla.
We had some very
get
lovely
adventurous every now
ladies.
and then, but-
We had the lovely ladies from Lewd Awakening.
Lewd review. Yeah. Mhm.
What's that?
It's,
It's like a burlesque show.
Oh, okay, cool.
We had a couple of them on here, and they were super fantastic.
yeah. They brought dicks for us
one
to
of
play
them
with.
She works at a sex shop. She brought a big
Okay.
bag of dicks.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was
I found
pretty-
out just how vanilla I am.
Yeah, and she gave us
that show.
free cock rings.
She gave us cock rings.
Fuck
Um,
yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
she
Yeah.
brought us a gift
Hey,
of
they
cock
work.
rings. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
it's all right.
It's all right.
It's okay.
They had a dolphin on them.
They did have a dolphin on them, a ball tickler dolphin. So like the tail, like
Whoa.
It was interesting.
That's strange.
yeah,
was
it's
very interesting.
They're getting
It was-
real wild out there with them.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
It was
bro.
all right. It was all right. But dude, mine. So you know how you like put the bar on the bottom of it? You know you can.
Sure.
It ripped, like it
Ooh.
ripped off. It's like
Yeah, they're
dangly
just-
now.
You're sidebarring now.
Yeah, I can't use it anymore.
You're sidebarring.
It's gone.
He got that fucking long dick.
I had a
Yeah.
I had a
Boys packing heat.
you know, man. But you know, I had like a funeral for it. I flushed it down my toilet. I had like a candlelight. I had like a candlelight, you know, eulogy for it. I spoke some words. I cried.
R.I.P. Dolphin cock ring.
Yeah, I jacked off and said, "This is for you."
R.I.P. Chester. R.I.P. Prince.
Yo.
R.I.P. Dolphin cock ring.
Yes.
It's the trifecta.
But yeah, I mean,
Oh
it was
my
all right
God.
while it lasted. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was a little strange, but
I've
Sure.
I've
It was-
yet
it was
to
bad.
I've yet to use mine. I put it on my wrist.
Damn.
dude,
I was
yeah.
like, fuck.
It's very stretchy, but
It's
like,
And you broke
stretchy.
yours?
what can I say,
Bro.
man?
Dick longer than that
What
hair.
can I say, bro? But like, it's weird because
Call me the hammer.
it kind of like cuts off like circulation.
supposed
That's
to
the
do,
point,
yeah.
And
though.
it's like-
yeah, it keeps that blood in
Yeah,
there.
I get it, but at the same point, I'm not super into it.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
it like the very end.
I think
when
it's
like,
more for,
it's pretty
yeah.
sick. It's pretty good.
It's more for longevity and then power.
Yes,
at the end.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. But it's
Keep that
it's
train
not
moving.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Coal
Yeah.
on the engine, you know.
Yeah. I'd recommend it. I'd give it like a B.
Anyway, from animal dicks
That's
to cock
actually
rings.
pretty good, All right, what else?
What else we got on the agenda? Shit, I don't know. What's the weirdest fetish you've heard of? I don't know.
Oh my God.
We're getting
Uh,
weird.
Wow,
dude.
we're just sexing.
I
here.
said
This is
let's
just-
get weird.
This is just sex
We're
party.
getting weird.
I mean,
Three dudes hanging out
think
sex
of,
party.
I think of that stuff as like if you thought of it, it exists.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because we did that one day in a car trip. We were all bored as hell, and it's like, say something out loud that you would never think is a thing, and then you Google it, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Like, try to come up with your own sex position. It exists.
it exists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Karma Sutra has been a thing for
Yeah.
like forever. It's
Kama
just,
Sutra. Yeah.
Well,
Just a
people
whole
been
bunch of-
fucking since the first people.
Exactly.
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck what
exactly.
you believe in.
Yep.
They had to fuck to get more of us, so
Yes. Yeah.
shit's gonna
You
get
think
weird.
Adam and Eve were married? Yeah, they lived in sin.
They
so
went, and that shit got weird quick.
shit got weird.
Quick.
Well, technically, they were under the eye of the Lord anyway, right? Isn't that how they do the marriage? Like under
Well,
the name of the God,
I didn't
whatever
see.
you believe
I didn't
in.
see a priest there, so
I've kind of seen
have
a
to
few
have a
different
priest if it's God?
I
explanations
don't
too,
fucking
because
know.
it doesn't even. But it never states that they're the only two people ever. It just
They're just
states
the
when
start.
they were made. Yeah,
Just
so
the beginning.
yeah.
it's like, did he make other versions that just aren't talking about? So it's like that's.
But if
it's
they
such a
are
wide open,
like, if you do
argument.
believe that and they are the only people, does that mean we're all like
Yup.
incest babies?
Yup.
Gotta be.
Well, technically, we've all, regardless of what you believe, we all come from the same branch, right?
Yeah, yeah, we have to. right?
Eventually, if you
Yeah.
boil it all the way down, we had to, right?
Mhm.
There was
Yeah.
only a few,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
or two started it all.
Evolution's not fast.
No, not at all.
One person gets some kind of, and
Yeah.
even if you don't believe in evolution and it's the start of man, it all
Mhm.
started from here's a
The
man.
starting point.
So
yeah.
whether you boil it down,
The only thing
either
that
way.
really works, honestly, which is kind of fucked up, would be simulation.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we all exist because we were all printed out, basically. So
Yeah.
it's like, but then we were, if there's some sort of overlord or something, that's still creation, though. So
Yeah.
it's like there's all these
That's true.
litany of different ideas that,
How much of an idea do you buy into that?
man, I don't know. I don't know I'm agnostic.
Me
So
too.
I'm not religious, but I'm not atheist.
Yes.
Sure.
Mm.
I
it's just
think
whatever
I think
whatever
it's-
happened.
I think it's foolish to think that maybe we came from nothing and after this it's all nothing,
Mhm.
because even in science, energy can't be created or destroyed. So the
Right,
energy that's
right.
in your brain right now, when you're done, that shit went somewhere.
Mhm.
Now, whether you float off into some ether or it is some guy in the sky, I have no fucking idea. No one does.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of the
Yeah.
argument. I like the argument about that, actually, because it's
Right.
fun to
Me
think
too.
about,
Me
like,
too.
is reincarnation real? Do you float around and you're like, fuck, 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 and then that bright light is you popping out the next cycle, you know what I'm saying?
You know.
You
I
know,
don't know.
that's cool to think about.
For
but,
sure.
But then there's also like, is it that you float around and see everybody and you're like, people think, like, I don't really subscribe to like ghosts.
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
really,
Yeah, I'm very agnostic
maybe-
with ghosts as well.
but it's like,
yeah,
maybe, but I don't. Why the fuck?
like
would
if
you
they're
wanna
there,
st-
if
you
they're
know,
there,
Yeah.
whatever.
You spent your whole life, and why are all ghosts old ass bitches from the 1800s and children?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
There's not
Yeah.
ghosts before
Yeah.
that. There's not
Yeah,
caveman
yeah,
ghosts
yeah.
running
There's
around.
not caveman ghosts. There's not fucking.
I haven't heard any Oonga Boongas on any EFP.
Nah,
readers,
man.
or
There's no
EMP,
hip.
whatever it
Where's
is.
Tupac's ghost at? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
did
don't know.
like the spotlight. So
That's what I'm saying. And he would be around for sure. That's what I'm saying.
You'd want to see all
Yeah.
this shit.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I think like I don't remember what was happening before I was born, but I feel like whatever was going on in my mind or the lack thereof
Right.
when I was born is the same thing that's
Well,
going to
does
happen
it
when I
seems
die.
insane. I think about that kind of shit all the time.
Yeah.
I'm very. I like to think about things like, you're 19,
Yes.
and so I was alive 20. a long time before
right.
you were alive. So I have a whole life before your life even started.
Right,
so I have memories of things you couldn't fathom.
Of course.
And vice versa. Like, I didn't live your life, and you grew up in a time where if I'd have grown up in that time, I'd have been crazy as hell.
Of course.
But you're pretty fucking normal. So it's like,
Appreciate that.
you know, it's
That's
wow,
one of
all
my
those
favorite
thoughts,
things.
man.
One of my favorite things to go back and think about. What is the first memory you can remember, and can you isolate like the time frame that's in?
Mm-hmm. I can, because my life was basically two places. You know, I was born in '84, and life was just a little bit slower back then. So, you know, you didn't do as much as you do nowadays.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Especially like, you know, I was raised not. I hate to say the word poor because I feel like that's more of like a mindset. You're poor in your mind. I'm broke.
I'm right there with you.
We
brother.
didn't have a lot of fucking money.
I'm right there with you.
But
Right.
so we didn't do much. But yeah, like I vividly have snapshots. I don't have motion, like it's not like a film in my head that I can play, but I have vivid snapshots from my grandfather, who died super early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only grandchild that ever met him, but I remember him. You know what I'm saying? I was 5. I was in kindergarten when he died.
Okay.
And I remember being like living at their house early. It was like 3 years old probably, but it's just snapshots. Like, he was a NASA engineer. He's a very smart man.
Wow.
Yeah, he was in the Navy, then went to work for NASA, and he worked for NASA and then retired, and you know, and then he died the day after he retired, less than 12 hours.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Shit.
You're telling me he helped fake the moon landing?
probably.
Damn.
I wouldn't put it past him. He was a bit of an asshole until I came around. Apparently,
There you
that's
go.
from what I've
There
been
you
told.
go.
But I have memories of him like the earliest memory I have is him building a Lego truck. So I had some Legos, and this was like right when Legos were starting to be like these different things. Like, this was like my childhood era when like Legos were really becoming what you know now as like Legos.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here trying to build this fucking thing. I'm a child.
Yeah.
Basically an infant. And he comes and he helps me put this thing together. And we end up with the truck on the box, but we never use the instructions.
Damn.
Nice.
I think early on. And then I kept that shit my whole life, man. Like, I remember taking vacuum cleaners apart, trying to figure out how they work. And it all stems from like that moment.
Yeah.
That's the earliest memory I have.
Yeah. It's those early memories that really shape like you know.
Yeah.
They're very formative
I
years.
believe it happens early as fuck, dude.
Yeah,
I really do.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's you're making all these new cognitive developments,
Yeah.
you know, watching your parents and your grandparents and all this shit. So a lot of the shit that you feel or the shit that like you do now stems from, you know, the way your parents were when you were a kid.
4.
Yeah.
I've thought about it like a lot, and I talk to people about it occasionally, like when it comes to mine in conversation. But my earliest one has to do with pain.
Yes.
And don't do that. And I've had like a lot of people that I talk to is that like it's a lot of like ouch or fear.
Like a learning moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yours definitely really surprised me because yours is the complete opposite. Yours is more of like a nurturing, like a good memory.
Mine's the same way.
Yeah, his too.
I have an incredibly
That's right.
lucky
That's right.
childhood. I was born, you know, like I said, we weren't the richest people, but they're great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just luck of the draw too, man. It's not like I chose it.
Yeah.
I didn't choose any of this.
Well,
I was just born into it. So
just for example, like mine was a like a yellow jacket or a bee sting. Like I remember I was still in a diaper, but I remember going to pick that up and saying I'm gonna put it in my mouth. But when I picked it up, it stung me, and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
I bet that hurt.
Fuck.
Unbelievable, yeah.
That a 2 or 3 year old can say.
More
that
like,
was
"Wah!"
yeah. That was my
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
my first one. My first like that one's in there.
Yeah.
As that's what you don't do. You know what I mean? Which really has mostly been the roadmap to my life, I guess.
Stay away from
Like-
yellow jackets.
No, just ouch. That's what you don't do. Ouch. That's what you don't do.
Shit.
But
You're
I
just like a bing.
Yeah. Just a pinball.
Just a pinball.
Yeah, no straight lanes here, just kind of
Yeah.
wildly
Ouch,
maneuvering, and then when I get the ouch, I just shift direction.
Yeah. But I get fascinated by the people who their first memory is like a sweeter one.
It's a good one.
That's a cool thing.
It's also weird being the only guy that knew him that wasn't his immediate family.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Like the only grandchild, because we have so many.
Mm-hmm.
Because what came after me was a whole, like, they had 4 kids, and those 4 had 2 kids each.
Mm.
It's just weird,
Yeah.
It's just weird to think about shit like that.
It
Like
is,
I'm the
for
only,
sure.
so when I'm gone, that's it. The memory's gone,
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange to think.
Everything
about stuff
after
like
that's just stories.
Well, and I like to think. Do you know who Beloved is? Are you guys old enough to remember Beloved? Beloved was so far ahead of their fucking time. You might have to look up Beloved US because there was a Beloved UK band, and typically when you type that in, it shows them instead of the other band because they didn't make it that. There you go, that second one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, so they broke up
Mm-hmm.
early.
2004.
And they were so fucking ahead of their time. But there's a lyric in a song, and I always keep it with me, and you can actually find it on some of their merch and shit. But it's if we live in hearts we leave behind, then we will never die.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's the true eternal
Absolutely.
spirit is like the memory you left
Sure.
behind in other people. So like eventually we all do like. Some of us have made like these impacts, like think about like Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to forget the
Yeah.
horrific things that guy did.
Of course.
I think like people like Paul McCartney. I don't think anyone's ever going to forget that man existed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on our tiny little micro lives, minus the famous people who did unbelievable things, bad and good. You're just gonna like you live on for a little bit, and then it's just
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And really, I think that's like what I want my life to be about. Is just like have my good shit while I'm here,
Yeah.
leave impressions on people.
That's
Make
it.
them remember me, and then I'm out of here. Peace.
And I try to not leave a bad taste in people's
Course.
mouths unless it's just deserving.
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of sometimes you just have to call someone out on their bullshit.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you got to.
for sure.
But you have to eat your own bullshit too, because there's definitely times where I'm being a dick and I'm being wrong.
Yeah, and you can, as long as you can accept that, I think that's
Without a
like,
doubt.
as long as you can acknowledge it and be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I didn't learn that shit till I was in like my late 20s, so I was kind of went through my early 20s. A bit, egotistical.
Hey, that's how it, especially if you think you're going to be a rock star since like 17, you got to be, right?
Yeah,
if you want it,
you couldn't tell me anything.
music, you kind of have to have that little bit of narcissism
It
with
helps, and back then it helped even more, but that's one thing the internet did do good, and it erased the bullshit, because if you're a cocky-ass piece of shit, they're going to call you all the way out.
You better back that shit
you
up,
better back it
or
up.
you're going to get fucking flamed.
Exactly. They're going to light you on fire.
Yes, yeah.
And
literally.
you have to be big enough to escape the fire. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. And
So-
no matter what, like you get any kind of recognition or fame, you're gonna get shit on.
Oh, for sure.
So
yeah.
you just gotta be
Haters make you famous. Man.
yeah, you gotta be that fire extinguisher, baby.
Sometimes. The thing with the internet is it gave everybody a megaphone.
Yes.
I'm over here. Pay attention to me.
That's all Twitter is.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird
exactly.
too because we're talking about it, but we're on our megaphones.
Yeah, hey.
It's
I mean,
strange.
Yeah.
But I'm more into like the dynamic of. I think you guys are too. Like how, why,
Yeah.
what, when, where.
Yeah.
I want to ask all the questions, not. Oh, this thing. I agree with this, so this is what I'll believe in forever. Oh, well, this thing contradicts that. Well, what does that fucking say?
Yeah,
Oh, well,
it's-
what are these two dicks?
yeah.
You know?
It's a scientific mindset.
Sure.
Well, why do you think that way?
Right. Which is strange because I
Questions,
was
man.
raised so religiously, like most people.
Same. This area just does
this
that to you.
area. I was in my first bands were all Christian bands.
Yeah.
We're good little boys.
Yeah.
Even though we say fuck and smoke cigarettes and
Yeah.
That's behind the curtain.
Yeah.
we kept it behind. Dude, trust me.
Yep.
And now we're like wide open. Like,
Yeah.
we
Of
have
course.
atheists in the band. We have people like myself, people who like Todd who are still religious. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta eventually you learn. You gotta boil down that bullshit, just like you said. People know when you're full of shit.
Right.
It's just how many times have you lied to your parents? They're like, "Come on, man, you're full of
oh,
fucking
dude,
shit."
when kids lie, it's the bullshit. Like, so my wife's brother came to live with us, and he was younger, and I was trying to help him out. It didn't end up working out, and I don't have to get into it, but his lying was just out of control, and it's like he would say it, and I'm staring at him like, motherfucker,
Yeah.
like it's so clear how stupid you are.
Yeah.
I just want to rip you in half, but I can't when you're a child. And like you're like, I think he was 18 when he moved in, so like he wasn't a child, but he's still a child.
Still a
Yeah.
kid. Yeah.
Still a child.
And I was just like, man, fuck. And then I'm looking at her like, bitch, are you gonna say something or do I need to say something?
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah.
How do we go from here?
Because we found like all of his homework like in our closet.
Yeah, we're good at lying.
What the fuck? Like, I did it. And then she's cleaning one day and she finds this box of unfinished homework that was all supposed to be done.
Well, you know, you get to that situation, especially when you're dealing with like teenagers and stuff. It's very frustrating, I'm sure. You know,
I'm sure, and plus he's
you gotta,
yeah,
exactly that, and you gotta put yourself in, you know, your shoes when you were 18. You know, and
well, I mean,
let's be real. That's where you learn to lie.
Exactly.
You do bad ones, and then you're like, oh, well, that didn't work.
But I never did that.
Really? Shit.
So I was raised to be honest. So teachers hated me. Principals hated me. I passed the 9th grade with straight Fs because they didn't want me there. Because I didn't care. I was bored.
Right.
And they knew it. They were like, it's not that I can't do it. It's that I don't want to. And I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But my mom doesn't want me to drop out because trust me, the fuck, I would have. But, you know, my high school diploma, I've never even seen it.
Yeah.
I actually snatched it out of the principal's hand in the office because I didn't want to go to, like, graduation. So fuck all that. I walked in. I was like, yo, can I get my diploma? He's like, okay, well, you don't want to take part in our festivities? And I was like, absolutely not.
No.
Yeah.
This is stupid, and I fucking hate this whole thing. And then he goes and gets it, and it's in an envelope, you know. Like, the real one's in an envelope. The shit they hand you on stage is fake.
Yeah.
And so he hands it to me. Well, he doesn't hand it to me. He's like, you got to shake my hand in order to accept this. And I was like, no, I don't. I don't like this guy at all. He was like, well, you have to. And I went, no, I don't. And left.
Nice.
You have to shake my. What a shit. That's so stupid.
He was such a bitch ass.
What?
I've never been back. I've never seen it. I drove in my truck from school, left campus, drove all the way to North Little Rock where my mom works, went into her job, threw it on her desk, and went, I hope it was worth it, and left. I've never even seen the fucking thing.
Jeez.
That's how little that piece of shit matters. Like, I already knew, dude.
What is it? It doesn't do shit. Diplomas don't mean anything, like, really.
When a GED counts the same, and especially on, like, if you're talking, like, a government job or something like that, they equal the same thing.
Yeah.
So, who gives a fuck?
Really.
Let's be honest. At bare minimum, the last 2 years, if you're not an overachiever, you're just phoning it in.
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly.
Right. And that's all I did. I still graduated on time, which is crazy. They did not like. I was such a pushback, but I don't lie. Like, I've always told the truth, and it's sometimes it's a curse. Like, it really can be a fucking curse to be like, because sometimes you're just an asshole.
Sure.
Yeah.
But but I've also had my mind changed by other assholes who are my friend who are like, hey man, I know you think it's this, but check this out. But me being logical enough to be like, all right, let me look at this shit, you know? Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure,
You know?
for sure.
I'm not afraid to say I'm sorry, but I'm not afraid to fucking... But I don't lie.
Yes.
And that's the thing that kid did. Like you saying, y'all are like lies, and I'm just like... Dude, I don't know. The only lie I ever told was like... to my wife, and that was just to get her to climb a mountain so I could propose to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's cute. That's cute.
Look at you.
That's cute.
And then that night I lied to her some more, and I brought her whole family. I paid for a whole fucking family to come in from Oklahoma, so we surprised her at a restaurant.
Cute.
Yeah. Real sappy piece of shit.
You say you're in a hardcore band?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. More like a bitch ass. You suck.
Wow. Well, yeah, we're hitting about we're at 2 hours now, y'all.
Damn.
So
Nice.
I know, man. It flies.
Like that,
Flies.
man.
Damn.
Every time. This room's a fucking vortex of time. It'll suck
I get
you
that
up.
way in mine too, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's fucking wrap this shit up. Let's go outside and
man.
let me smoke a cigarette. And
Well,
we'll...
yeah, man.
yeah, I'm sure you're
so
ready for
yeah,
one
you want to
after
hear more of Cory? Well, looky here, we've got a YouTube Crash Cast. Look up Crash Cast on YouTube.
Booyah.
Look up Crash Cast. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go back to the YouTube. So there's one missing, and I found out it's because I'm only allowed to post once a week for some dumb reason through my server.
Okay.
Yeah, I just found that out today.
Huh.
Interesting.
So there's a episode 66, Low Spirits. Go find that on like the other shit.
Yes.
Spotify, Apple Podcast app.
By the time this comes out, I'm sure it'll be up there as well.
No, they said I have to post it myself, so I'm going to, but I don't actually know how to do that because they've been doing it this whole time, and I don't know how to post it. Maybe you guys can show me.
I'll show you because I have to upload my YouTube separate. My host puts it on everything else, but I have to do my YouTube separate.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Crashcast. Make sure to go check out Crashcast on YouTube, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. So there's a shit ton of other, podcast places you can find this guy at. We got Facebook here if you want the Facebook page. We got Instagram if you want to see his goings and comings. It's Crashcast Pod. If you want to hear from more of us, sameolddevils.com. We've got all of our podcasts here, our YouTube link here, and we got our shop here as well. Let's see, we've got our shirts here, and we've also got pins that, are fucking cool. And, you know
they
what?
are fucking cool.
Yeah.
What about your bands? Where can we find more about your music?
Man, fucking Instagram, dude. That's I fucking hate Facebook. And I'm too old to give a shit.
Me too.
And I like the one I like. So where I post my stuff for my stuff, it's all Instagram. So you have My Hands to War Band or MHTW Band. I think it's MHTW Band. You might try that one.
He'll get some shit pulled up.
We had one, and then when we took the hiatus, when we came back,
a little bit of a break.
We forgot.
My MH what?
My Hands to War
Band. MHTW Band. There we go.
I think that's the one. 29. That's it.
Okay.
That's the new one. Yeah, MHTW Band, and then Lame Johnny's just Lame Johnny.
Okay.
Nice.
Because we're the only thing that is that. It's just a kick-ass name.
Yeah.
I got that from my great-grandmother as well when she moved here from Denmark before the start of World War II. Yeah, no, they were all into shit. I still have family over there that survived the war. Hopefully they're not like, Nazis or something. They came over here, and yeah, there's Lame Johnny.
Lame Johnny,
Yep.
nice.
Lame Johnny at Lame Johnny Band.
Yep.
If you want to hear My Hands to War, it's at MHTW Band.
Yep.
Check the shit out.
That's the two live ones. Both are putting albums out, 2020 music videos. Like, we basically decided, let's make 2020 the year that we actually do shit.
Bet.
Nice.
Yes.
When let's get together again. Bring some of these dudes on. We'll
dude,
fucking
for sure, man. We can talk about like
band
writing
shit.
songs.
Yes. Let's do it.
Tours.
Let's do it.
Gear
Tour
talk.
stories.
I get nerdy with some gear talk.
Bro, you and me. Okay, so Justin,
my babe out there.
Yeah, oh, dude, yeah, that amp is beautiful. Yeah, Justin's an idiot when it comes to, and he'll listen to this, but he agrees. He's an idiot when it comes to gear. So I put my gear as his gear. So I nerd out for him.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get Cody in here too. He's great.
But yeah, make sure to check out Cory everywhere else. Check us out at sameolddevils.com. And guess what? We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.